All right, all right, all right. I see y'all in the comments already. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Real Precious. We appreciate you guys for being here. Definitely hit that like button as you come in. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. Hit that like button, hit that like button. Also, invite a friend. Tell somebody to come on over because they might need this. They might need the Real Precious and our Pain and Coach Ferg and whoever else decides to join the show because y'all know we dropped the link for y'all to come up on the show. We just ask that you be respectful, okay? Just be respectful. Man, women, just be respectful. That's all we ask for. But thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. As I told the team on the back end, we're not doing a 5-hour show tonight. Okay. So I'm telling everybody else the same thing. All right. It ain't gonna be a 5. I know we have so much fun up here and the conversations just drift off to where it needs to drift off. And at times it's, it's a good thing. Sometimes, you got to let people get their thoughts out and the conversation kind of take a body of its own and we learn some things, get different perspectives. But tonight we're going to be mindful of the hour. Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you so much. All right. Before I get to the co-host, which is our guest, the people who are in the chat, I do want to introduce our panel this evening. And we're going to start with our Pain. How are you, sir?
Right. I'm fine. I'm doing okay. Can't complain. Looking forward to what we got in store.
All right. All right.
We'll see if I can answer the questions without turning anybody off. I'm in the mood tonight, so chat, watch out, god dang it.
You're coming out with the blazing guns. All right. Coach Ferg, how are you this evening? Oh, thank you so much for being here, Arpain. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm ready to go. I look forward to this time. Since I've been joining you, I've been looking forward to this time. I'm like, what is she gonna have this week? That's why when I hit you, like, hey, the link ain't working. So I just look forward to it. Wednesday's a pretty good day for me. I've been working on just a little side note for me. I had to put my skill set together over the last week. I done built myself a walk-in closet in my basement. So I'm about 80%. I had to run some lights, run some wires and some plugs. I did that. So I had some old drywall. I put that up. I just had to buy 4 other pieces. And I have a concrete wall, like it's 2 sides. I painted that with some water seal paint. So I'm going to start. Yeah, it's going to be nice. It's probably, I don't know. One wall is 10 foot, over 10 foot. One wall is over 9 foot. So I'm interested to see how it looks when they get it done,
Okay, you over there building using your hands, being man. Okay, y'all listening?
I took some videos. I might do a little live on the videos I've taken so far. I've done, so I'm cool with it.
All right. Well,
my wife likes it.
I know that's right. That's all that
matters.
Things have been happy. Yeah, it's been long day. Salute to her, because so
that's all that matters. It's something, and our Pain knows this. I've said this on the show. It's something about and you married, so don't. It's a compliment, but
I'll take it. I still take it. You can give it to me. I'll take it.
It's something about a man who works with his hands. It's just different. It's mentally and to me psychologically. To me, it's just different. It's okay. My dad always said, be with a man who can either pay for it or do it himself. You gotta, be in those 2 categories. But at the same time, for women, it's one thing if she sees you pay for it. It's another thing if she sees you build it. It's just different. It's just different.
I got one rule, Precious. If a guy comes over with his team doing some shit I can't do, you got to keep your shirt on, goddamn. You got to keep your shirt. Don't take that. Don't even think you could take that shit off. Don't even try it. You cover up, put a parka on.
Cover her up. Put a hoodie on. Don't take it off.
Because you're right. Women like that kind of stuff. Hey, this guy can do some stuff.
It's just different. It's
I agree.
Different type of appreciation. I'll say that.
Hey, it worked out well when I was a single man. Hey, with my tools and yeah.
You know what? It was funny. You
Good
working with
memory.
your hands. I knew I found that way through cooking. I mean,
Yeah.
I was batting like 90 some percent. You know.
I mean, hey, it's something. It's something.
Yeah.
We just like men like we always have that what do you bring to the table conversation or whatever. But some of the things that you bring to the table are not always like you bring cooking, whereas Coach Fur could bring working with his hands and building things. It's still valuable to your union. You know what I mean? It's still work for the union. So those things shouldn't go unnoticed because there are men who don't cook and rely on the woman to cook all the time. At least you guys have the family times and the around the table talks and things of that nature. Coach Fur, you can build your a studio. Like it just works. Like, you know what I mean? So, those things are the valuable things that a lot of women should look for in men, men who take the time to actually see what their hands are valuable for. Maybe we should have a show on that.
Yeah, fine.
There you go. So everybody can call us simps because we can do things for our wives.
I got video. I got videos and all that stuff that when I put those meals with the final. Oh man, got a lot of them.
So we'll get to shout out to y'all. We'll get to the viewers. Definitely send this video to someone because we're going to get into some videos that I post on my Instagram page that get a lot of views, that get a lot of attention, and it's because these are the things that people are talking about that grab their attention. And I wanted to bring it here to the men's panel because one of these videos, this first video I'm gonna show, the comments that were underneath of this video alone, and I just want to see if y'all feel the same way or if you're looking at it through a different lens. But a lot of the comments under there surprised me, and I don't know, I didn't take it that way. But before we do that, Tarika Smith is in the chat saying, every evening, everyone, please hit that like button as you come in. Yes, please hit that like button as you come in. If you feel so moved as to send some encouragement through the Cash App, you can do that. Y'all know my birthday coming up, right? My birthday ain't tomorrow, but it's coming up. It's coming up. Hey, it's next Tuesday, just to let y'all know. It's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Don't count unless you're going to tell us how old you're going to be.
Scorpio.
How old am I going
to be? I can guess it.
How old do you think I'm?
Precious, I can get close. I would say you between 36 and 37.
You're right. That's it.
Okay, so that's it. That's the way she answered that is no more guesses.
That's it. I mean, you ain't gotta guess. You just have to ask.
I've always been able to do it. I have 5 sisters, so I'm usually 1 or 2 years, no more than 2 years away from guessing ages.
Yeah, you're right.
I work with a lot of people.
She said 2 different ages. She said, "Yep, you're right."
Well, you said I'm 36, turning 37. There you go.
Enough said. That's enough said.
You said between 2 ages. I am currently.
That's okay. I can see that. I can see it.
Jeffrey, a lot of people think I'm younger than that, though. So I don't know.
A lot of people think you're younger.
Yeah.
It's a spirit. You have a young spirit. Keep that. Don't ever lose that. I don't give a damn what your generation say. Keep your young spirit. It pays as you get older. It pays big dividends.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeffrey, good evening. Good sis, Precious, the panel, the chat, and the mods. Really can't wait for this one. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. Our pain in the chat, another good one in store. Yes. Jeffrey showing some love. Thank you. I love how y'all show each other love. I appreciate that. Quincy in the chat. Good evening, good people. Hey, Q. All right, y'all. We're going to get into it. So this first video, again, I posted on my Instagram channel, and I don't know. I'm just going to play the video, and then we're going to get into it. Y'all going to have to give you guys' perspective because maybe it's universal. I don't know. Okay, here we go.
How long as you could be on a trip is you and your girl? Like a long 5 days, 5 nights.
With your girl?
With your girl.
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days, 3 nights. My nigga. My nigga. After that, it's
With your
getting
girl, we gotta go home, son.
I got a permanent headache now. First of all, because you talking OD. It's just you and me. It's no
And then
distractions.
if it's nobody else there on the trip, you sick. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's not like you could go hang out with you. It's just you and her having every meal, every drink, every conversation, every experience. God.
So before I give the consensus of what was in the chat, you guys tell me, what do you guys think about that video? How long, and you guys are married, so how long can you go on vacation with your significant other? Or your wives?
Oh, that's so crazy, man. The way these guys answer. I mean, it's got to be an age thing. It depends on the routine in your life. When me and my wife get away, we could probably spend months together without any problem. Because we set shit up. Like for example, we the cheap dates for us is we'll rent a hotel room in a nice hotel, upper class hotel. It don't have to be that far from our home.
Staycation.
We'll pack like 2 suitcases full of shit, man, knickknacks, wine, all that stuff, and line it up, take pictures of it, use the refrigerator, and we're on room service. We're hanging out. It's just me and her. She don't have to worry about being home and all the domestic shit. She's out there. She's like a different guy. I tease her. I said, well, I gotta still pay $500 to get some ass. I'm saying, I gotta put you.
You don't worry about nothing else. $500 is easy.
$500 is cheap, but I'm just trying to say, because it's a whole different ball. We could spend all time. We go out to the restaurants. We'll go to an area where there's restaurants everywhere, whether it's in the hotel, and we just hang out. We don't have no time limit. We're on a cruise like that, a couple of cruises. But the last one we had the balcony thing. It was, of course, it was 7 days, and all the people we went with, they had these like things that divided the rooms, but we all had sea-facing rooms. So we took those things down, and so we had like an area where we could all hang out. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's all you can eat, all you could drink, all that kind of stuff. Man, we have a blast together. Me and the wife. That's the one thing why we're still together, because even through the kids and all that, we never stopped dating and stop being interested in each other. Mm-hmm. And never stop. We always have fun together, no matter where we are. Your kids can sit down and eat mud if for all we care. We're gonna hang out, and that's it. So I don't know what these are newfangled guys.
Did you say months?
Well, I mean, we haven't been away for months, but we don't have any problem where we say, okay, shit, we've been away. We're together too long. I'm bored. We'll always find something to do, even if it's just chilling.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's been like the cornerstone of us getting together, getting away, and hanging out without worrying about it. Mm-hmm. So we take care of the back at home. Even have last time we went on a cruise, believe it or not, we updated our will before we left, right? Just in case me and her croaked, so the kids could be taken care of.
I mean, it's responsible, but geez, God.
Yeah, we did that because I said we're gonna get buck wild here, so we should update the will, make sure that the kids be all right, And so we did. We had some shit we had to correct.
Get the drink package, and if we get too wild and one of us goes over,
or we both go together. You know what I'm saying? They know they're taken care of. So I don't know. Those two guys, those are young, newfangled dudes. That's what I take out of that.
Okay. All right. How about you, Coach Burke? What's the longest you can go out of town, just you and your wife?
Man, we out of town every day over here. I mean, I'm like our pain, I guess the time in my life when I was looking to be married and committed to the marriage, it just made it easy because, she tells me all the time she prayed for somebody like me. Thank God I appeared. And it's, we have I don't know, like any relationship, marriage, you have your days where the communication may be off. And then once you have a conversation about it, you realize you both are saying the same things, just I'm left-handed. I'm thinking on the right side. She's right-handed, thinking on the left side. Then it sort of comes together. But I'm gonna hit it two ways. Even if we just go to the grocery store, my wife very seldom goes to the grocery store. But if we go to the grocery store and we out, don't you know that we can actually tell jokes on each other and laugh, and people are looking at us like, "Are y'all married?" They asked us this question, "Are y'all married?" Yeah. Y'all just having so much fun, like it's just a bad thing to do. No, we enjoy being around each other. Uh, our dates can be simply driving around the city, or like our parents said, we can. She likes Puerto Rico. She likes Toronto. Those are the two places she wants to go. And when we're out, I don't remember a time where we wanted to end the time. We knew time was a constraint, but just to get back and get away from her, I've never had that with relationships. Maybe it's just me, just because, you're going to I am the good time. I am the scene. That's how I always looked at myself.
I think
But
Usher said that in one of his songs. On one of his latest albums, he said something.
yeah, I just never, it's hard for me. And, when I listen to guys that could be my son, you know what I'm saying? I think they spend too much time, looking at the worst. Ain't nothing 100%. But most people look at it, the glass is always half empty. So that's why they have the outcomes that they do. So if you're around me, you're going to have a good time. That's the way I always look. I grew up with sisters. I had 5 of them, 2 older, 3 younger. So 6 women in the house. I understood how women act, talk, behave, think before I even got out of high school. So I'm not surprised by anything. So if you want to be around me, you're going to laugh. If you can't take a joke, I'm not the right person, because I'm going to talk about your big wide ass feet and your big nose and big lips. It's going to get talked about. So it is what it is.
All right now. All right. Uncle Rick, thank you so much for being here. How are you today, sir? Or this evening, I should say.
I'm good. Everything's everything. Peace to you. How you doing? Peace to my brother Art Payne, Coach Ferg.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Day. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Doing well. We're just into the first video. I don't know if you saw it, so I can replay
I didn't. My apologies.
No, you're good. I can replay it. And thanks to those who just joined. Definitely hit that like button as you come in and share this video as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when we go live.
Yo, what's the longest you could be on a trip? Is you and your girl, like the longest? 5 days, 5 nights.
With your girl?
With your girl.
4 days.
Yeah, 4 days,
3
3
nights.
My nigga. My nigga. After that,
With your girl. We gotta go home, son.
I got a permanent headache now. First of all, because you talking OD. It's just you and me. It's no
And then
distractions.
if it's nobody else there on the trip, you sick. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's not like you could go hang out with you. It's just you and her having every meal, every drink, every conversation, every experience. God.
All right, so Mr. Ricky.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the longest you can go on vacation with your wife?
I got contingencies, if you don't mind. Do we got the dough to stay there? You see what I'm saying?
You said, do you have to stay there?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, do I have the dough to be able to stay there?
Oh, I think it's more like I would think so. But even if money was not a factor, let's
That's forever. Like that shit is weird to me. Like, how's she your girl and you don't want to be around her? That shit weird to me, bro. That's crazy. Like,
right.
I mean, they young. I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But they young. You know what I'm saying? They got you. Like, I can sit with my girl. We ain't gotta be doing nothing. Like, we enjoy each other's company. We enjoy being in each other's airspace. You know what I'm saying? Butt naked, laying around watching movies. You know what I'm saying? You get an understanding after a while, man. Like, hey, we here, right? Like I said, I agree with what Coach Ferg said. I just think that's a symptom of young men not knowing what they know. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what they don't know, right? Mm-hmm. And like, man, that's your girl. That's your ace. That's your ace. At the end of the day, right? We have a, like I said, I don't have a problem with women. I understand the problems that come with them. You understand what I'm saying? It's a difference. But no, man, if me and my girl, if I could afford to go to Jamaica and stay for a month, we'll stay for a month. If I can afford to go to Dubai and stay there, like that's my home, that's my girl. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. That's just weird to me. I'm sorry. I might be weird. I might be off kilter. But no, as long, man, there's nothing. There's nothing we can't talk about. There's nothing we can't discuss, right? And I enjoy being my wife's first when she learns something or we see something new, right? So if we're in a country far off somewhere or a state we ain't never been, that's gonna be it's like they in my opinion they say that shit because they want to move around. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do I know? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Cam, good evening. Thanks so much for joining. How are you?
Hey, how y'all doing? I appreciate all the men on here because it just I love hearing the stories about success in the marriage realm because I feel that same way too. And I think I'm kind of eccentric in a lot of ways, and so it's good to hear that I'm somewhere along the line because I think I would be able to spend all the time in the world. I had a little situation where there was a young lady who I had taken out of town, and we just had a good time out there. And she stayed at my house for like 4 months uninterrupted. We had like a great time. Like we were chilling. So like I said, it's like if I enjoy somebody, I enjoy them. So like, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So yeah. So I like hearing about going on the cruise and doing the will thing. I thought that was dope too. Like hey, we get too crazy. I like that.
No. I mean, like I said, it's responsible, but it's like, what y'all about to do on this cruise? What y'all about to do? Yeah. Ooh, y'all must be having some R-rated fun where you're not going to remember. You trying to secure the life policy.
I think that's dope. Pairing that together though.
No, very responsible. I can't, that's the most important part of it. All right, so y'all pretty much are saying, look, I could be around them. I could be around my woman all the time. We have that chemistry, we have that connection, we have that commitment to one another. The comments were saying that the men were gay. They were like, okay, so y'all must be gay because y'all spend more time with your boys. Y'all spend, y'all trying to get back to the boys. There were comments saying that if you don't like the person, why would you be with them?
22 hours.
For 22 hours. I don't even think they spending that much time with them for 22 hours. I think that's too long, Siri. Okay. That's too long. But they're pretty much saying if you don't like the person that you're with, why would you be with them? It's actually comforting to hear you guys say, hey, you know what I mean? Time, it's irrelevant. Like it's not even a thing when you with somebody that you like. Every day is vacay, okay? But I did want to ask because we want to be realistic too, and we want to give the audience and those who are watching a realistic look into what not necessarily what the relationship is like, but what it looks like from day to day, because I'm pretty sure that, and we're going to reel it back into day to day and not vacation. On vacation, it's like, yeah, why aren't we all up underneath of one another? Why aren't we, why are we trying to limit this time that we have with one another? Why don't you want to be around me for a long time? But I think we have to bring into consideration that just because you're on vacation doesn't mean that your characteristics and who you are and the things that you embody don't still come through. Like I'm someone that can be around someone and then it's like, all right, I need some time to like recoup. I need some time to, regain my thoughts and things like that. And I would think that men would need that too. I think everybody needs that. But from the day to day, what is the healthy space that you guys have away from each other, excluding work? Like work is a given if you don't work together. right? So what is a healthy balance of space in the relationship? Because I think that sometimes women don't understand. A lot of women in the comments were like, "Oh, well, you're gay, you don't really like her, blah 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 blah." But there are some men who struggle with showing affection. There are some men, like y'all said, they could be newly single or younger guys. There are some men who struggle with being affectionate with a woman, but can be like, "Hey, yo, what's up? Play ball today? Like, what's good for the day?" Right? Whereas it's like, I don't know how to be with her in this setting for a long amount of time. I can do it for a little bit, but for a long amount of time, I don't know about all that. So throughout the day to day, what does the healthy, separation look like between you guys when you're at home, but you're not working? And Arpang, we know
Um,
you're tired, so
uh,
I don't care who you want to go first. You know,
yeah.
so you can get the fossil out of the way first, but then let everybody else. So, but the point is that most people today, men and women, don't understand what healthy relationships are. They don't have enough examples of that. I mean, that's what I think, right? So you can't, so those guys, the way they reacted, and then what the women said about them being gay. Well, the truth of the matter is, men don't have an issue being around men because we feel free. I mean, when I was younger, we used to have like go out to lunch, and
mhm.
it'll be a lot of fellas. But every time we invited women to come out with us, we had to understand that the conversation would change. It changes just because women are there. We can't just be your natural self. We can't say the shit we want to say. We can't do the stuff we want to say. So those things are exclusive. But to tell you the truth, women have intruded on every space a man holds sacred. Right? They really do. But these guys, where they reacted about being away, first, these chicks that they have are like jump offs. Because you wouldn't react that way to a woman that you really want to be around. That's how I look at it. I don't care what age it is. So from that standpoint, but the everyday kind of thing, when you're in a regular relationship, as far as I'm concerned, part of your relationship dynamic with whoever your woman is, or if you're a woman, whoever your man is, you work that shit out. Because it's like three things, right? The things that I do, the things that you do, and the things that we do together. And once you understand those things, then there's no issue. I have stuff my wife ain't into, and she has shit that I'm not into, but we don't have no problem with that because those are the places where are the solitude places. There ain't that many, but then there's the things we do together. And the things we do together ain't all work.
Right.
It's not all work. So once you understand that dynamic, then you're free. Right? That's why I tell people that I'm gonna end it here. When a woman tells me being married is confining, then you're married to the wrong person. My wife had freedom to do everything she wanted to do under the umbrella of our marriage. The only thing she couldn't do is have another man. That's it. That's it. So I'll end it there.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm gonna one up you. My wife can't even get on the phone with nobody other than police department or somebody, somebody of an emergency situation. But me and my wife, we are almost polar opposites. She likes bitter, I like sweet. Every Friday, when the weekend comes around, she always asks me, "You gonna put your feet in the streets today?" And I like going watch football games. I like watching sports games. So I go. Boom, boom, boom. She tell me, go have fun, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at the time like, okay, it's getting a little late, 12, 1. Get on home, She's like, well, I thought you was going to be back 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, this ain't me at 40 years old. There's no reason. And as the way the times are today, you can't have that time where you can hang out late, with guys and people that just hanging out, just chopping it up, talking about life experiences, issues guys may have. We trying to talk them off the ledge and trying to bring some sense to them. It's just a different time. I think younger guys are missing that camaraderie in a sense. and they fight everybody. It's everybody else's fault except they bad decisions. And to get in a relationship with a woman and then say, okay, I can't be around you too much, that shit is like ass backwards to me. Some stuff I don't understand, I don't relate to. Because one thing I knew on Friday, say all four of us was hanging out, the guys were hanging out, 7, 8 o'clock, I'll holler at y'all. I got to go see what my girl talking about. For the hell what y'all talking about. But then we can get back up 2 days, 3 days later and like, hey man, what's up? Okay, everything's good. But it's just a different mindset today. I'm not in a relationship with you if I'm got a time limit on how much time I'm gonna be with you. You know, I'm already looking to cut it short. That to me, it just makes no sense. So
Situationship.
yeah, that's all it is.
It's a situationship.
I just don't
do you have something to say? Is it Rick?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, good. So I told a girl I was talking to probably a couple months ago, she had never been married. So she's a little bit older than me, but I had been married. And I'm like, everyday marriage is just kind of like, it could be seen sometimes as boring to some people, but it's tranquil. Like people who are like fully fledged people, they're just, I'm a full person who has interests and ideologies, kind of like our Payne said, like, I'm my own person, she's her own person, but we come together and we collaborate and enjoy each other. And of course, there's little things we have to do, but it's not a lot of it's just cool. It's just tranquil. Like I enjoyed myself. Like I said, I enjoyed marriage. Like other than the break in fidelity that had occurred, which caused us to kind of break up. I'm like, it was cool. It was fun. Like I enjoyed myself. I almost wanted to speak to the people who feel like they can't be around people that long. I think you have two partially formed individuals who don't have their fully formed personalities, because they're probably speaking to a girl being clingy maybe, and they're like, oh, she's really clingy and she has like a lot going on, and I don't really know how to deal with that because maybe I don't know how to quite lead in that capacity, because that's the only thing I can imagine in my mind, where like you like her and you must like her for sex and maybe you kind of like her personality, but you have to have a time limit. To me means that there's some kind of a malformation in somebody in the relationship, so that could be the only thing I could think about. But
That's interesting, because I forget who said it, but they say that women don't leave. Like if you dating a woman, and it was a video that I saw too, where she was like, "I'm not going home." What do you mean? Like,
that's happened.
the time is like she don't want to go home, whereas the man is like, "All right, now when you going?" So that can be a form of clinginess that men will be like, I just don't want all that. But I think also there is that the difference between, again, a situationship or just somebody that you just like or something like that, and an actual relationship where you do have to become one. So like our Payne said, the things that you like to do, the things I like to do, and the things we like to do together. Like I know my dad, like Coach Ferg says, he still go to our old high school football games, and we've been out of high school forever. He still go to my brother's college football games. He's been out of college forever. Like those are the things that he likes to do on his own. Whereas my mom, she, do her meetup with the ladies at the church or whatever. Like she does her arts and crafts and her baking and the things that she likes to do. My dad has nothing to do with those things. He's up in a room watching a football game or whatever. But I think that men who say, oh, I can't do it for a long period of time, they're not looking to do it for a long period. Like that's just not their mindset. Whereas a woman, she will like you and be like, oh, I like this. I want this long term. And there's a mismatch or a break in the mentalities of the two.
Yeah, I think to shout out to what the brother said, make sure y'all get hobbies, man. Something y'all enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I'm being totally transparent, right? And this an old guy talking, right? Time passing up fast enough already. I'm just being honest with y'all, with work and the kids growing up and stuff happening on a day-to-day basis. I'm telling y'all gonna look up. It's gonna be like a blink of an eye.
Yes, sir.
Right? So like how can I say this, right? me knowing me, right? If I could brag on myself a little bit, right?
Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm a certain type of dude with a certain type of energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of dude I can stop and talk to a stranger on the street and we'll talk and get a conversation popping, right? I have that same energy with women, right? So I stay at home because I know me.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Right? So I'm a homebody. I'm okay with my own company, right? My wife, she like when we was younger, I was the one out in the community. You know what I'm saying? Football, basketball, coach, making sure kids get clothes, stuff like that was me. But now that my wife, she's getting towards retirement. Now she's the one outreaching to sisters, young sisters, right? That's her thing. I don't interfere in it, right? And I think what a lot of people do, right, is they mates hobbies against them for real.
Ooh, speak on it.
You know what I'm saying? They they complain about that time that's away, and I understand it. You know what I'm saying? But we adults, right? We are two individuals, and I think the biggest thing, right, the biggest thing that's missing in this thing is that nobody ever comes to an understanding. We walk around with these unsaid knowns, right? These unsaid knowns. Both of you, we know it in our head, but nobody ever said it, right? So you got to sit down and say, you know what? If that bothers you, right? Again, if you feel that hobby takes up too much time, as a man or woman, you should sit down with your partner and say, hey, I understand this is something you enjoy to do, right? But I feel like I need this amount of time, right? Or I think that's only fair to both parties,
Yeah.
right? But me, like I said, all I want to know is if my girl is safe. That's all I want to know. You safe, right? Because if I can't trust you to be the woman you say you are, this ain't real anyway, right? Same with me. You shouldn't. We grown. I should be able to be where I want to be, how I want to be, as long as I'm not doing you dirty,
And as long as
right?
you're safe, that I mean,
You see what I'm saying? Let's keep it a bean, right?
that's
Let's
one
keep it a
thing.
bean.
Women all, a lot of women and some men, but I'm a woman, so I don't speak to the women. Women worry about what a man is doing when he is away. That is a big thing. You could be the greatest man on earth. A woman will still have that inkling of a thought. Well, what is he doing? She texts you. You ain't answer back in 2 seconds. Why he ain't answer? And it's like, just hope that he's okay. Because whatever the truth is, whatever the real is, it'll be revealed in time anyway. So why
Whatever.
are you trying to play God in a moment where you just need to be you, where you just need to make sure he's good, where you just need to relax?
Yep. Whatever you do in the dark, gonna come to the light, and if it don't, you wasn't meant to know anyway.
Right.
That's just the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, as far as time, like I said, man, I just think people, you hooked up with that person for who they were at that time, not who you believe they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? You got to love that person where they're at. Now, if they grow into something different, you got to be flexible enough to love that person, right? So again, if that person has hobbies and things they enjoy to do, let them do it, right? Especially if you're not into it. Especially if you're not into it. It's just not your thing. Some things she like to do, like my wife, she's a drinker. I drink, but I'm not a heavy drinker. You know what I'm saying? I drink on special occasions or when I'm super bored or, trying to vibe out to some music or stuff like that, right? But I'm not a heavy drinker, but that's her thing. She did it before me. What I look like? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I look like, right? That's the old trope. You knew that when you get. That's a fact,
Right.
right? So again, we supposed to be adults. A lot of these things that people base their relationship off are completely childish stigmas that they scared to release because really it's about control and leverage. Everybody want to control and be able to leverage stuff against their partner. So when they do blow up or it go crazy, they can make themselves look like the victim. That's really
Yeah.
what it is.
There you go.
Alrighty. So I want to play this video in response to the first video. I saw this one. I thought this was interesting.
main goal when she love her man is to be the passenger princess. A woman want to be able to be your best friend and your lover at the same time. Well, most men are not able to have that relationship with the women in their life because they don't have the tenacity and the integrity and the manhood to look at this woman outside of her vagina the same way you look as your friends in your life that are fellow men. I can talk to you and tell you certain truths and not give a fuck about what your opinion and what you care about, because what the fuck you gonna do? Stop being my friend? Niggas don't like to lose women through disagreements. Niggas don't like to lose women from feeling inadequate or feeling that I was not able to keep her happy or she caught me. Well, she only caught you and she only felt inadequate because you gave her something that wasn't the truth and you told her that it was. And she has what's called women's intuition. She has what's called the cunningness of a woman to see the characteristics and the traits and the habits of a man. Men are creatures of habit. If a man likes to coffee, he's gonna drink coffee every morning. If a man likes to wear a certain type of boots, he's gonna wear those type of boots until he finds another boot. Women change depending on whatever the circumstances are. So if a woman can tell that your characteristics is changing, your patterns are changing, because obviously your needs are being met in a certain area that usually are being only met within the comfort zone of us. I can tell that something is being altered in it, and most niggas are so caught up in being a man that you don't realize that she knows that.
So he says something in there that some men don't have the tenacity to deal with women the same way that they do as men. Do you guys think that's a myth, or do you think that is true?
That's true, 100% true.
I think he used the wrong word.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You can go first.
That's why I'm bringing this up. So
I think he knew what he was saying, but I think he said it in the wrong context. That's my opinion.
okay, so who wants to go first? Cam, do you want to keep going? And we'll go first. Coach
Oh no, I wanted you to go. I wanted you to finish off that path. Yeah,
Coach first.
You can go. You go first.
I was just asking. So he says some men don't have the tenacity to deal with women the way that they deal with men, like their friends and things of that nature. Do you guys think that that's a myth, or do you think that it's true? Like he has a point.
But if I can be honest, his thesis is incorrect, because nearly no man on this planet has ever treated their woman and handled their woman the same way they handle their best male friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth, right? There's nothing tenacious about that. Women are to be handled differently than I handle my best friend or my homies.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So.
I'll agree. I agree with you, but in this day and age, I understood what he said, but I didn't like the word tenacity, because, to be honest, I think it comes more down to you don't feel like you have the leverage, almost, because to me cheating is like a dumb idea. It means that I don't have enough integrity in myself, and I don't think enough of myself or have enough confidence to tell this woman to her face A, B, C, and D. Like when it comes to so when he was talking about cheating essentially, and so I didn't like when he said tenacious.
Cam, let me just say this, Rick, I'll let you go. Cam, where you went wrong is every time you young fucking guys keep saying this day and age.
Right.
The nature of men and women, the behaviors might be changed, but it's not about this day and age. It's about understanding the nature of people. Men,
I know, that's why I agree with it. That's the thing.
Hold on for a second. Men don't deal with women like they deal with men. We just don't. We never have. We never have.
I don't. That's why I said I don't disagree with you. I think we're all in agreement. I'm just saying the thought process from dealing with younger men today, they deal with women almost like friends with vaginas. They don't deal with them like they should be.
What they need to be trained is to understand that they shouldn't deal with women like they deal with men.
Right.
100%. I agree.
In my opinion, it's not that they deal with them like men with vaginas. They deal with them like they're men. Right? Because that's the understanding between the two sexes. We're equal in this thing. Right? I can do what you can do. You can do what I can do, but I can do it better. Type shit. Right? No, like me, right? Me and my homie can get into a squabble and be cool tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? This is what I keep telling people. Watch what you say, because you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Right? So again, every man knows if you treated a female the female you care about. The way you treat your homie, you wouldn't have one.
Not at all. You would.
Let's stop lying, bruh. You know who you tell, you know which chicks you treat like your homies? The side bitches, the hoes, the tricks you wouldn't take to meet your mom. The trick you wouldn't take to meet your best friend, because you know your best friend, she gonna hit your best friend too.
Oh God.
Right?
Oh,
Let's stop playing like the dynamic. This is y'all problem. Y'all exactly what and I'm not trying to knock you, bro. I'm talking about the en masse when it comes to this relationship thing.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. No, like that's what I said. I think all of us on the panel, like, I agree with y'all because I deal with women like that. But I've noticed, like, as we had the last conversation, it's like the disconnect almost seems like, why are we engaging with them in this dishonest way? That's why I agree with him, because he's like, we almost deal. It's like a lot of young men that I see, other than me, they deal with women in it's kind of like a, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear and do this other kind of stuff so I can get what I want to get out of you. And that's why I could be around with you a little bit, but I can't be around with you a lot. So no, I agree with you all. I'm just saying what I've seen. So I'm just describing the pathology. So no, I 100% agree. Like,
if we keeping it a being, right? You handle your woman differently, right? Because she means something to you, right? You don't care what you tell a hoe. I don't care. I wouldn't care if you left tomorrow. It doesn't matter to me. I hit you, you get a nut, I get a nut. It's what it is. Right? See, so when he says things like that, that lets me know the basis of their entire relationship. They just getting nuts together. Don't sit up there and believe like you ain't got to treat your girl a certain way. You do. You do. Every man knows this. And every woman wouldn't be with a man unless she dickmatized. And we can talk about that on a whole different subject, how that worked, right? But a lady wouldn't be with you unless you treated her a certain way. That's the facts. The problem is now these ladies, y'all don't, like I said, y'all just in it for dick, just like dudes is in it for pussy. And y'all want to get paid while y'all do it. Like I tell, man, look, every woman to me is a whore. Every woman's a hoe. We just want you to be our hoe. That's it. I'm a trick. I'm a trick for my wife. It don't matter if you got it or not. It's tricking. Right? I ain't tricking for no shit, no bitch out in the street. No chick that I was just hitting just cuz can sit. Let me tell you about my day. Bitch, I don't care about your day. You gonna tell your girl you don't care about her day? You know what happened at work? I don't give a fuck what happened with you and Janice. Don't tell me that, because that's what you tell your homie, right? When he come at you about his girl that he been complaining about for 3 years, right? That's, man, you know you love that girl. Shut the fuck up. Right? You keep complaining about the bitch, but you ain't going nowhere. Right? That's how you treat your lady? That's how you treat your lady?
No, I don't treat my lady that way, but no, I know some people who do.
No, man. Right. And they go through them like underwear, right?
Yeah, and that's how that was the point that I was getting at, is that it's like we have these relationships that are so they last so shortly, situationships, almost because of the interactions. So like I said, they're not proper. Like I gotta launder certain things in a certain way because it's a certain material. Like we gotta treat each other in a particular way, which is why I think I've had general success in most of the relationships I've had with women. I think it's just kind of like we never had an example, and I think that's the part where I feel like the breakdowns always occurred. Like when I've had relationships, like always enjoyed them. I think they enjoyed me. I think it's just always been like a fatal flaw where like you never saw a husband and a wife type deal. So it's kind of hard to kind of understand how to get through the rough patches or how to get through, those things.
The funny thing though is that I think a lot of us give too much credence to, having role models to figure out how we have to deal with the opposite sex. You know, I mean, I think we lean on that too much, and then we lose it. A lot of people use it as a crutch. I mean, I don't remember any specific course that told me how to deal with a woman. I really don't remember somebody sitting me down and say, "Well, this is a girl and this is a boy, and
No.
this is how you treat her." And this, I mean, some of this shit you got to learn by understanding that the nature of you and the woman you're talking to is just not the same, and it's through some kind of being open to understand some of the differences and being that nobody talk you out of this the fact that you're not the same. I mean, if we go back to the video with this guy, and I'd like to see it again, I don't know what kind of relationship he's talking about. You
I
know,
think I
he
think
sounds
he did two different things. The beginning of the video started a certain way, and then it ended a different way. But I can definitely play it again.
yeah. First, I think he's just rambling.
Mm.
A woman's main goal when she love her man is to be the passenger princess. A woman want to be able to be your best friend and your lover at the same time. Well, most men are not able to have their relationship with the women in their life because they don't have the tenacity and the integrity and the manhood to look at this woman outside of her vagina the same way you look as your friends in your life that are fellow men. I can talk to you and tell you certain truths.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when he's talking about, you know, you can't look at your woman outside of her vagina, I don't. That's not a healthy relationship to begin with.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying that there are some men who
No, but
are not at that level. They're just looking at a woman, and I think it's kind of what Cam was saying. Like, you're my friend with a vagina. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying, he said most men don't know. So yeah, I hear that point from that perspective, but it just sounds like I'm trying to think about what kind of man is he, right? Because that's like on the tip of his tongue, and he's going to the less of these. What about the guys who understand their women, right? He's talking about most men don't understand a woman outside of vagina. Those are not relationships worth talking about because that's just guys who are looking to get laid. That's the majority of guys that's out there. He's not talking about the guy who is what you call it was intentional about having a relationship. But if he's talking about those guys who are intentional and saying most of them don't know how to look at a woman besides her vagina, then that's where the disconnect is because a guy who's intentional should have more coming to the table than just thinking, I'm going to get a nice piece of ass. What does it mean to be intentional about a piece of ass and calling that woman your lady? You know, it's doomed to failure.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Oh, you know. Listen, I spent several years again. The most confused generation is the crack era generation. The 25 to 40, 35, 40-year-old right now, male or female, they're the most confused. They look at these type of situations, and a lot of them take it from personal experiences that before they got out into the real world. A lot of them, a lot of people talking about their family members really in these type of relationships. They never really had any type of unification process in that because now you're taking out, and I'll say the strongest of us, that 25 to 35, the strongest of us, all they doing is fighting about things that really have no weight in a relationship. They fight about a lot of that stuff because the stuff that he said, I would think that he's probably in his 30s. But then I always look at and I don't judge books by its cover, but I look at how people present themselves. Like, okay, how's he come into the world to, I guess, to change? Because when I always when I listen to men, and the brothers here that I listen to, they speak to have a message of trying to make it better to some capacity, but you're already speaking to a fact that, again, the glass is half empty. Most men don't have that. It's at some point, regardless of where you started, at some point you have to get that shit. You have to get it by default. You have to get it. You're going to get it. Some get it earlier, some get it later. But if you don't get it, you're going to stay in this childish mindset in the strongest part of your life, and you'll never be able to identify a woman that is worthy of being a wife. You'll never even understand yourself and how you can be a guy that's can be a protector, provider, and all of those things. So it just amazes me when I hear younger guys I'm like, I can't relate to that because most guys, as they get older, they have an understanding that, okay, I want to provide these type of things for a woman, but I've seen so many don't understand the dynamics of, you have to compartmentalize your lives. And I think a lot of my crack era generation adults, just the time frame, I'm just being facetious, but I used to work with like Precious. Half of my clients in 2004, they were your age. Now they're adults. And now you see the outcome of that time. But a lot of them think that most relationships are bad, when really the relationship is about you personally. What experiences can I bring? I can't go around saying, well, life is bad for me all the way up until I left home at 18. But based off that bad experience, why would I want to continue to carry that into my adult life? I have to be willing to make the change. And a lot of people use situations for excuses. And that's the problem. They use it for their lack of willing to make the change for the better. Forget me. Forget for the black folk. Don't do that shit for the black folk. For the rest of the world, they're going to look at you and always compare you to being lesser of, because a lot of people just are it's just out of fear. I'll just say that. It's just out of fear. They don't really know, but the fear hinders more black people than any other race I've ever known. We don't learn how to swim. Kids is dumb as hell. They ain't running no more. Everybody always, what if? Well, okay, what if? But
That what if is a killer, man.
it keeps us at a, I don't know, it just, because it's getting worse. The children are getting worse. They being more violent, Who's talking the kids off the ledge? I just see motherfuckers saying, go ahead, jump. The world don't like you anyway. People ain't shit. I just heard too much of that, and it's sad right now. So I don't know. I don't even know what I said, but I know what I said, but I don't even know. It just gets confusing more and more. I heard. Like, come on, man. Somebody got to get it. If not,
yeah. No, I mean, I feel you. I think that's why I'm so passionate about, because the reason, and I don't think I think humans have been humans. I think when I speak about time change, I'm specifically talking about culture shift. And the reason why I had talked with I call her like a grandma to me, and she's in her 70s, and she's like, yo, what do you think the difference has been, or the change has been? It's like back in the day, y'all all kind of had to like congregate, you had to constantly be together. So it was just a different lifestyle, and the lifestyle produced, we had to be more unified because it honestly benefited us. And because we don't always need each other in very financial context, this is where we're at. And so the only way I see it getting better is that if I show my son, like I take my son everywhere, like he's been on more planes than most adults that I know, and he thinks it's normal now. I know the girl that I had talked to during the pandemic, she had never been on a plane before I took her. Like, so it's like, I think we kind of have to we just have to normalize like healthy and positivity in general. Of course, I'm doing the course of your own inner work, but I think that'd be the only way that things could get better, is that we normalize like healthy relationship. We normalize kicking it and it being cool just to kick it with your girl. Like we normalize like health. And then I think more people will see it as a normal thing, as opposed to just bad relationships all the time and a bunch of people talking about it.
All right. Do you want me to finish playing the video, RP?
No, I'm good. I was just thinking, when Cam was talking, back in the day when people say that men and women had to be together because we had shared pain and experiences. Back when there was nothing there, back when the technology wasn't there, the only thing I could think of is if we didn't fall prey to the propaganda and the things that separate us. I can't imagine where we would be as Black Americans with all the shit that we have at our disposal for women and men, Black women and men stay together, as opposed to believing that we have this big fucking war going on. Right now, we probably be running so much stuff, because I'm just thinking in the 60s, when I was born in 58, we were like maybe 100 years out of slavery. I mean, and we were killing it under all that oppression, under Jim Crow, under all that oppression. And because somebody decided to give welfare to people who had to struggle.
Yeah.
They threw it all away. And here we are today having women telling black men that they ain't no good if they ain't voting for some brown woman from Asia. And it's just crazy. Because if we didn't fall prey to that, men and women, I can't imagine how far we would be right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, I don't even know if there's a pathway back to that, especially after November 5th. Anyway, so it's just it's sad because instead of being on top of the world, we're on our way out as a subculture here in the United States because we can't get relationships together with something that should be naturally something that should be natural. We're living outside of our nature, and it's killing them.
And I'll Pete, I
Please
don't
clip
think
that, Precious. Clip that somewhere. That was good.
I think a
That
lot
was
of
perfect.
these adults see it coming. I don't believe they see it coming. They think that they can continue to fight and stay separate until the end. And we always say history repeats itself. Nations fall. Then who you think go fall first in this nation of divided people? It doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know.
I thought I saw something about other countries wanting to reproduce with black men. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that much credence on it. If the Japanese want to have black children, yeah, you know, I mean, outside of a couple of honeys who might be curious, I don't think think there's any codified something that says that.
Other nations won't let their women come in droves to us like that. It ain't changed over centuries. Why would they all of us know? They know that they up against. They will not allow those women. They have the control over their women for them. It might be
the Japanese are the one people who told a white man, I don't believe it. My racism is bigger than yours. Get the hell out of here. If you ever saw Shogun when that guy threw the dude down and pissed on the back of his head, that white colonist, that tells you all you need to know on how xenophobic the Japanese are. They ain't asking for no brothers coming over here to populate this.
As being the only single man on the platform, I will do some investigation. So if I come back with the blazing baby, you already know what the vibes are, right?
You could get an individual one, but it ain't no tsunami coming, man. That's crazy. I just don't believe it. That's all.
No, I'm just saying.
I thought the same thing. Japanese women love them some melanin men.
They do. They do.
Yeah,
everybody does.
But those are the ones who ain't. You got to remember, they have a large population. Those are the ones that's just like us over here in America. They the ones living in the ghetto over there.
All the phenotypes love black men. Don't let them fool you.
Yep.
Every single phenotype. Every single phenotype. I don't care. Like I know German, Asian, Poland, English. It doesn't matter, bro. Like I'm talking about, like when they sit down and talk and actually get you, they be with it. I'm telling you, they be with it. That's just the fact of it.
I'm just saying the government sponsored thing.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
That's just true.
I was trying to find this video of and I had so many videos saved, but I'm gonna post it to my Instagram page. I'll give y'all something to look forward to. It was this Asian woman, and the way she was like, I don't know if she knew this black man or he just walked up to her, but she just was just praising him as if he was a god. And I'm gonna post it. Put my own little words on it. But yeah, I thought they liked the black man too.
No, I mean the individual woman might, but I mean the whole thing about the Japanese thing said the government was going to pay $75,000 and all that. The government ain't doing that. They ain't doing that. The Japanese government ain't doing it. But
I don't think so. I'm gonna investigate it, but I don't think it's happening.
No.
I agree with Uncle Rick though. I mean, black men have a good time all around the world. They have I guess the toughest part is right here in America.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get to Cam Newton
My favorite time.
We're gonna get over to this one because we talk about, you know, women and how you guys like natural women and things of this nature, but mental health got thrown into this one. And I want to know if you guys think, you know, the same along the same lines, or if you think he's just I forget this comedian's name.
Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb.
Corey Holcomb. Oh my goodness, it was like at the tip of my tongue. If he's just being a comedian and just going overboard, like he does in his jokes, even though he did say it wasn't a joke, it was real. But I'm gonna play the video. Thank you guys for being in the chat. I appreciate Stacy who sent a Cash App. I thank you. I thank you. Let me just make sure I'm getting that right. Yes, thank you so much for sending a Cash App. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. All right, so I'm gonna put this video up.
If you find your queen and she looks good, that's a blessing. But your queen should be chosen not by looks, by the quality of who she is. So all these girls with BBLs, yeah, I'll fuck them. You marry a girl with a BBL, something wrong with you, man. I know a lot of people who tried it. It don't never work because you marrying somebody with a mental issue. They crazy.
Is this you being funny or is this really
This
how you
is
feel?
the real, brother.
Say less. Can we get into our game?
Okay. So, women who get BBLs, do you think they have mental issues and that
Yes.
they
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay, so break it down why you guys think that they have mental issues.
Can I go first? Can I go
Yeah.
first, please?
Go ahead.
A woman who would go under the knife for anything other than health reasons to alter her body hates herself.
Mm.
She is not happy with the body that God presented her with. Better yet,
Did you hear what I said?
she's not willing to put in the work manually. So not only is she crazy and messed up in the head, she's lazy. Those are the facts. How can she say she loves a man when she doesn't love herself?
Mm.
None of us. So let's test the theory, right? You know why pretty doesn't have value like it used to? Because anybody can be pretty nowadays.
Yeah.
All these girls look the same.
Yeah.
It is something wrong up here. I have more respect to the ugly chick who looks herself in the mirror every day and then she says to the world, I'm beautiful. I don't care what y'all think.
I saw this video just real quick and I said, dang, man, all people need is money because.
And you celebrate the signing.
Look at Carisha.
Do you even remember?
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Tootsie's.
Now I saw that and I was like, that's how she looked when she first came out. It's almost like you have a certain look when you first come out and then you hit the industry and boom, you got to have this certain image. It's like, we need to get rid of, you know, all of this. And it's one thing about doing things for yourself, but when you go underneath the knife, like Uncle Rick said, it's like, you hate yourself. How can I expect you to love me when you hate you? Because now you about me. Now you gonna want to change me, and I ain't coming here to change physically and things of that. I'm coming here as my true self. You ain't gonna have to worry about 20, 30 years down the line a surgery going wrong on my body and having to take care of me.
Yeah.
I'm old though. I might be off. I'm an OG. You know what I'm saying? The 90s is over, as they like to say. You know, the 90s is gone. I don't know. Maybe I'm just off. My apologies.
I'll say this part, and I thought it was interesting. There's a IG influencer. Her name is Suzette the Realtor, and she's like, she had her story. It's on like, it's called like the Finessers Club. There's like a podcast, and she was telling her story. And my dad says, and I say it all the time. He says, everybody's crazy. It's what kind and how much. In order to, like I said, alter your body for a reason other than for health means that you're flexible. Either like you have a delusional mindset or vision when it comes to like what pretty means and what it is, or you're willing to put places on your body, compromise your health so that you can get the exchange of money. And that's crazy in and of itself. So let's say, even if you're not like, oh, I need to look pretty for this. Let's say you don't even care. You think you're pretty right now, but to add those things in order for you to get it back, because that's what she was doing. She was like, every time I got a BBL, I got booked for more gigs. So I went and kept on injecting, and now she was suffering health problems because of it. I mean, she's thriving in a lot of other areas, but she now talks about like, and to me, that I have to go do something to alter my health to go potentially look crazier so that more people will book me. Like, you're turning yourself into a circus animal. So in and of itself, that's just another level of crazy to do that. So I 100% agreed with him, is that like, when you have to do this stuff to yourself in some capacity, you're missing the mark in the mental health side of the game.
Little Kim is a prime example. She was probably one of the finest looking young ladies. Now you can't even recognize that shit. And the crazy part about the poor black women that do that shit, they'll do all that, spend the kids' college fund, spend all the money, and they'll still be sleeping with the same old dudes that was clapping cheeks with the flat buns. That makes no damn sense to me. That makes no sense. You go in debt for your cheeks. The only thing I say is, like I tell them, F them kids is what they do, not what they say. It's what they do. Look at what they do. It's gonna tell you how they say F them kids. Forget what they cheerleading about. That means nothing. They actions show everything. F your kids, F my kids, F everybody else's kids, because I want what I want when I want it. It's just unfortunate. So, but they don't see it coming though. Go ahead and I'll say this my last name. Go ahead and vote. Go ahead and get these Democrats in office if y'all want to. When they cut out all y'all welfare, all y'all little nest eggs gonna be gone. So y'all better figure that shit out quick, because the end is coming near. Forget what y'all talking about. Watch what they do. Forget what they say. Watch what they do. So better find you a regular guy. So
That's funny.
RP.
I really don't have any much to add. I mean, it's just, listen, one of my top 10 things on when courting a woman is to understand, to find out whether she's comfortable in her own skin, whether it's a BBL or, a wig or eyelashes. I remember, see, back in my day, they used to wear eyelashes back in the dinosaur days, and we snuffed that shit out. Those kind of women who had those long eyelashes, they weren't, that shit died a horrible death for a little while until it came back with the transvestites and stuff like that. Most of the women today look like transvestites. You can't tell you the difference, with the wigs and the weaves. And, even if you have a lovely head of hair, women want to cover it up. I have a sister-in-law, and I don't mind her. She likes to change up her style. So she'll wear wigs or extensions, but she is just as comfortable with her hair short, and depending on the style or the week and all that. So I know no problem with that. So I don't have any problem with that. But the women who can't take off those lace fronts and they can't go outside, if you're a guy, right, and I'm gonna end it here. If you're gonna try to start an intentional relationship with a woman, but she doesn't want to show you her true self, how could you do anything with her? How can you form anything based on a lie? So show me who you are. And one of the things I love my wife about, the first time we fornicated, I turned over in the morning, I didn't scream. She looked pretty good sleeping. So I mean, and everything's natural. She don't even wear makeup. So I don't know. I mean, you got to be natural for me. There's a lot of guys, but the black man being the way we are, and I should have said I'll end it here. We pretty much used to accept anything. We pretty much used to accept anything. That's why, and I think some of it is our fault because we would accept women as they came to us instead of having high standard, like some other races. So the obesity problem, because fat girls in Black America don't have no trouble getting laid. They don't have no trouble. The big chicks, like everybody say they don't like, they don't have no trouble getting laid. They got 7, 8 kids running behind them and everything else. So the fact is, we as men, our standards have been broken down so much. We accept anything, anything, and so it's a vicious cycle. So I'll end it there.
I just wanted to say before you go, them sisters that can rock a short haircut, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all sisters that can rock a short haircut like nobody's business. I'm talking about the people in the room too, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
She already knows she
No
can.
doubt about it.
Sisters that can rock a short haircut, yeah, for sure.
We don't have to guess.
I love the short.
It's special. Yeah, no doubt.
Thank
What's going on?
you. Good evening, good evening. So game time breakdowns. Was that your name?
Yeah, he
Nah,
changed
it
it.
wasn't.
He's switching it up on you, so you don't know who he
It
is.
wasn't the same.
Remind us, what do you want us to call you?
You can call me Fame to make it easier, so it's not such a
Fame?
long
Okay.
thing to say.
All right, welcome back. I apologize because I'm like, I don't remember that being the same name.
Nah, it was God Motivates People last time.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's why that looked familiar in the chat. All right, so you and I wanted to highlight this actually. So welcome. Thanks again for joining. You have put in the chat, are we also saying women who wear makeup also hate themselves?
No.
I mean, if we're going by, I think Corey was right when he said that they're crazy. But I also think that the men, he said, like, the men who marry them, it don't work out well. I just think the men that try to marry them, that those men shouldn't have did it. I think that those men maybe had the money to do it, but they wasn't the right guy to actually do it. And I think a lot of guys that make a lot of money in their life, they go for women they could never get without the money. And I think that's where the issue comes to play. That's just my opinion on that, though.
Well, let me ask you though, with makeup though, right? I think we misuse that. I mean, women throughout the ages always put makeup on. I mean, there's tribes, everybody. It's not makeup is not the issue. If it was just a little bit of makeup, there would be no issue. We're talking about absolutely falsifying the way you look, and that's accessories that go along with that, right? So, makeup is a misnomer because you can go throughout history, men, black, white, everybody. Women used to put stuff on their face all the time. So did men, by the way, and depending on where you work. So,
yeah, but
I don't think we have issue with makeup per se.
But the makeup has gone far more.
Yeah, so we need to give it a better name. We should give it a more name, extreme makeover or some shit like that. Transvestite makeup.
But even back in the day, moms maybe wore a little bit of eyeliner. And listen, sisters, y'all don't need that shit. Wear some goddamn lip gloss. Exfoliate your damn
eyeliner. Because
exfoliate your skin. Exfoliate. Stop drinking that fucking badass wine for yourself. Drink water. Put a little exercise, because that exercise get all them clean your pores out. Take fucking baths, not a shower. Sit your asses in that water. Exfoliate. I'm telling you, it'll change your life.
Yeah.
But y'all keep going after this caress and stop using that bad soap. Go get some triple meal soap at TJ Maxx, Marshalls. It's $4 a bar. Stop using that caress. That shit ain't made for y'all. All that does, shit ain't made for y'all. You go ahead, keep using it. So on the way you feel breaking out at 35. No.
Wait, what's the soap you said?
It's triple meal soap.
Triple meal.
Yeah. That African soap is good. That triple meal soap is a $4 bar soap. It's a big bar. You ain't gonna get it 8 in a pack. You gonna get 1 bar for $4. And it exfoliate. A lot of people don't exfoliate their skin.
I use African soap. That's what I use. I use African soap.
That's African.
Yeah, the African soap is one of the best soaps you can use for our skin. but you have to exfoliate. You have to get some of that dead skin off your body. Some of y'all don't sweat. Some of y'all don't do nothing. So you got to help you out yourself. If you don't believe me, go do it, try it, then come back and tell me I was wrong. Other than that, shut the hell up and try shit. It's nursing shit. It's nursing shit. Just try it.
But
Yeah.
again, to preface the point, again, this is my opinion. You ain't gonna change it tonight, right? Again, if it's so extreme that you have to change your body, you hated it. You hated it. You couldn't look at yourself in the mirror. You couldn't deal with. You couldn't wear the shirts you wanted to wear. That's what it is most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it? But don't you see it? Maybe it's just a faster way of doing it. Like when a
Nope.
guy goes to the, you don't think it's just faster? Because
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's the belief system behind it. It's all what you believe, young guy.
But when they get the same results if they worked out, it just took them longer.
Right. So
No,
why don't they do that?
Well, I'm saying because we live in a society where everything is fast.
That's
fast,
not. I don't care about
No.
society. I
Right.
don't care. Right. It's okay. It's okay to be with a man. I ain't gonna do it in society.
That's not fast though. That's like
No,
that's kind of
it's,
moving the
it's
point.
but this what I'm saying, right? This is what's wrong with, and this is what people don't understand. It's the nature of men to do this. Y'all want to pick and choose. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't be cool with it because you can't be. Well, let me say this: most people cool with it because if the option presented themselves, you would want to be able to do the same thing. That's not me. I don't want the option. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not with it. And it's just that simple. If you cool with it, it's because you're with it.
But being, I think that it's. I don't think they hate themselves if they go under the needle to get an operation done.
What would you call it?
They just want a change. People like to have changes in their body or even society, or they want to be looked at differently. They see something, they're like, oh, okay, this person got their body done and they got this type of attention. I don't think that they hate themselves because they did something under the needle.
You're free to believe what you want, right?
That's fair, yeah, that's true. Society, yeah, we can.
Okay.
But when you know that the risk of going under the needle is dying, right? You know that's a risk, and it's a very high risk because a lot of people have died underneath of the needle. When you know that's a risk and you still do it anyway, what would you call that? Just making a decision, being irresponsible, or what?
Just taking a high risk move. I guess I would look at it the same way as someone who is a gambler and they put their house up, you know what I'm saying, in that mid moment just for a fast result. You're just taking a risk. You're taking a high risk move. It's either this gonna happen, this gonna happen. And if you happen to survive, then you cool with it. They're willing to die to get their actual results, which is why I don't really think they hate themselves if you're willing to actually die for a quick result.
Wait. So, what if they died?
That's the risk they wanted to take. Like that was on them. They decided to. They knew the risk, and they died. And they died. I don't think they care too much about it. Actually, like if they knew
They don't care. Right, they don't care about it. Right.
They don't care about the dying situation.
They don't. Well, who's dying? It's not somebody else on the table, and they looking at a third party. It's them, right?
But that kind of proves my point. Of
would you say people? Give me a second. Would you say people that commit suicide? You think they hate themselves?
I don't think so. Actually, maybe some people, but I don't think everyone that commits suicide hate themselves.
I think a lot of what the alive in I think a lot of people hate the situations and circumstances. However, a lot of people don't have that, let's steal an old dude word, tenacity, bravery, courage to change those circumstances in their own willpower. They don't feel as though they have the power to change their circumstances, or they have the power to, and I mean naturally, not going underneath the knife. They don't have the power to go on that Stairmaster and do that for a half hour every single day. They'd rather just go fly out somewhere, get the results, and come back like we ain't know you was SpongeBob SquarePants before you went out to Honduras or wherever you went. Like, to me, and mind you, it's your money, it's your body. But at the end of the day, if you're willing to get a BBL, what else are you willing to fake in your life?
Everything. Everything. They like, listen, I'm gonna keep saying this because there's no way. I don't know how much they cost, but I've looked up I'll just go between 8 and 20 grand. Most black people don't have 8 and 20 grand right now in their bank account, but they will save up $20,000. F your kids, they can't read anyway. F they ass. F the college fund. F they ass. F securing my housing. I'm going to get this BBL. And when I come back, I'm still sleeping with the same dudes that like me with the flat booty. That shit makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. And the fact that they would do this, knowing that what the health risks are, they still follow that trend. The health risks are dangerous. And it may not be immediate, but 10, 15 years down the road, you got to get a new pair of tires. They're going to have to go in and bring in a fresh batch of BBL. You under the knife again. But
it is maintenance. You do have to, it's not like you get the surgery and you leave. Like these women got to get special massages. They got to wear special undergarments underneath of their clothes. You can't sit on your behind for like a month or whatever it is. You know, it's when he brings up the mental health part of it, it makes you think like, what would make you mentally get to the place where you have to go see a doctor to give you a body?
Like you said,
and what kind of guys are they actually drawing? I mean, one thing nobody wants to say, they got to learn how to clean themselves too.
I heard that.
They got to really learn how to clean themselves. Depends, especially, you know, you got short arms to begin with. Now your ass is like eight.
And then it's like you don't know how to dress up. See, a lot of the issue for a lot of women is they see the mannequins in the stores, they see Instagram, and they see certain models and things of that nature, and they're like, "Ooh, I want that to fit on my body the way it fit on so and so body," and that's just not how it works. You have to dress your body to your body type. Your body.
Mannequins got BBLs.
Well, they're voluptuous. They're now some mannequins. Now you go in the stores now, you be like, hold on, now, did you move? Because some of them they do have double X, but a lot of the mannequins that nowadays are not like straight up and down ones.
Yeah,
they got some ass though.
Yeah, because those that empower usher in the way they want for people to go. So now they're going to say it's okay to be overweight. It's okay to, you know what I'm saying? I've seen some overweight mannequins. I'm like, what? But because they're actually allowing this to happen. And then, listen, I don't care what rich people do. I worry about the poor black folk.
Yeah.
Y'all can't afford to do that shit. Y'all ain't got enough health insurance to take care of that shit. Stop saying F them kids. And just take you and your kids outside. Go to the park. Run around the park. Everybody get some exercise. Everybody got breasts in the house. So get outside. The Olympics is coming. Y'all can get your kids in shape. Everybody get in shape for the Olympics. That's my last thing. Everybody.
Yeah, it's the same with the bodies with the hair. You're not taking the time to find out what body style you have. You know which one you want, and that's what you want to buy your clothes to fit, and not necessarily your actual body size. Same with the hair. You know, you have this hair and you don't know what to do with it, but instead of finding the products that will work well with you, instead of taking that time, and hair it ain't like it's growing 6 inches daily. This is a timely thing. You got to put in the time and the work to see what works. But instead of doing that, it's like, okay, well, I'll put on what I know looks. I could throw on this hair in the hair store and be like, oh, look in the mirror and be like, oh, okay, that'll work. That's quick. It's automatic. It's very instant. What you see is very instant, instead of saying, okay, I got to go through this process of hair growth. I got to go through this process of this oil or this conditioner or whatever. It's like Fame was saying, like it's quicker. And in this generation, in the times that we're in, I know that you hate it being said, our pain, but it is the natures are the same, but the behaviors are different.
different. Yeah,
Say
no
it's
doubt.
very, like I'm a manager, it's very different. It's like I have to really wrap my brain around how children today are not raised like we were raised. So when I'm doing my thing and I'm coaching and things of that nature, I have to be mindful because a stern, asking someone to do something in a stern voice to them could be like you're belittling them, or you're pointing them out, when it's like, no, we got work to do, and they're not seeing it as bettering their character. They're seeing it as you're hurting me. Whereas back in the day, that you just knew that person was about their business and they wanted you to be better because of their motivations and attitudes behind the certain activities and tasks that need to be done. Nowadays, kids are like, who are you? Like, why are you telling me what to do? And it's like, did you not get the memo? So it is different in the sense of dealing with the newer generation day to day. And I now have a in the life, real life experience with this. And it's almost like you do have to kind of sit back and be like, psychologically, how are y'all thinking about this? Especially when you weren't raised that way. It's almost like you have to get in the way in the thought waves of how they're thinking, and it's almost foreign because you were raised so differently. So that quick gratification is very prevalent. Of course, social media didn't help things, because in social media, you think you could just, be a star, instantaneously. Put a camera in front of you and some makeup or a wig or some hair and a few likes, and boom, you've made it. But that's not how it used to work. You needed talent agents and you needed people to scout you, and you needed, now back in the day, you had to make those scouting tapes and those, those camcorders where you had to hold like this. And now you could just throw it up on Instagram and boom, your child is a star. And I'm not knocking it if you're using for something like that, but it has gone to the all the way to the other end where it's like now you're, using it in a way, or consuming it, I should say, in a way that is taking your mind to a different place, and it's not necessarily reality.
I think they just cooked. I ain't gonna hold you. I think the kids from the ages of 12 to 17, I think that's who they're gonna be, and they have to learn a hard life lesson. I don't think they're gonna change from how they seeing things, and I see too many people try to help them, and it seems like people who try to help them, usually they're the ones who get hurt in the long run, trying to help them, because their parents ain't doing anything. If their parents ain't doing anything, well, how are you gonna help them?
Okay.
That's just my take on it, though.
But here's the trick to all of that. Now, again, it comes down to you as the individual. If you don't engage the parent in this help process, you're fighting an uphill battle. I had several students whose family were gang members. So I had to say, listen, if you really want this, then I have to communicate with those in your family. So I would set up meetings with guys who was, I don't know where they were at on that plateau of being out there in the streets, but they would come and they bring their little goons, as they call them in Chicago. Shout out to the West Side and South Side. But I had to sit down and have meetings with them and say, listen, you have a bright family member, son, nephew, uncle. They want to do a little something different. Can I get your support in that? And 9 times out of 10, most of them say, yeah, little nephew, he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I want to do it. So I had to bring in the family early in the process, but it just has to be the conversation. You may get some pushback, you know what I'm saying? Depends on, but I had a father tell his son, I'm waiting on you to join me in prison. So I had to and I actually helped this kid. I asked the father, listen, you can't have those, you can't say that to him because a 15, 16-year-old is vulnerable out here and they're going to acquiesce to the easiest route without discipline. And my last thing, one of the easiest ways to change this dynamic, and I don't think we'll never get the support, when a boy turns 12, 13, when his scrotum sac separates from his body, he needs a righteous man in his life. And what better man to do that than his father? Sisters will never go along with that because they won't ever admit that they can't do it. They only complain after the fact, after he done grew, say, 7, 8 inches. Now he wears size 15. Now he's too big. I don't know what to do. Well, you had a chance when he was 12 or 13, but they refused to do it. 2, it's a money thing. They would not do that knowing that they would lose some of that child support. They would not do it. But maybe it's just my experience, but I never tell people what they can't do, what they should be doing. I always tell them what they are and what they already have, the gifts. It just takes time. You meet them where they are, but you have your expectations here. And I don't expect changes within the first 90 days. You know, it might take me 6 months just to get them to realize that I'm presenting steak to you. You've been eating garbage all your life. And a lot of people don't have that patience. See, kids don't ride on me. They don't ride on me. They do everything I ask, but I have to gain their trust because everybody's telling them they ain't shit. Most dudes hear it in their house. You ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit. The sister's telling you ain't shit. Most women don't understand, like he was speaking to earlier. They don't like themselves because they built like their mama was. Now you fast ass little da, and they're, that guys 35 trying to hit on 17-year-olds and shit. So they just all confused out here. And if you want to work with you have to be patient and you have to force them to bring out their true talents. I just tell them, write me songs, write me poems, bring it, and I'll make them present it, and it always worked for me. And I have them crying on my bring tissue, like cry it out. Because once you cry it out, now you can start with a clean mindset. But it just takes that time for people to, build that trust. Not a lot of people are willing to go through that fight. So it blessed me. So
Yeah. I was gonna say that it sounds like you enjoy doing something like that, but in all honesty, you're like a rare commodity. It's not like the majority of people is not gonna sit there and take 6 months per child. I'm not sure how many you're doing within that 6 months. It sounds like it's more than
I
one.
averaged about 60 students a year.
Yeah, that's crazy work. I would never spend 6 months with 60 kids. And maybe because of my age and I got my own kids to think about. So since I have my own kids to think about, I'm not thinking about saving nobody else's kids when I gotta worry about my own. So I'm more thinking about I gotta make sure that they don't end up like them. So I gotta tell them that, hey, your friends are gonna do this, but you shouldn't do this. And even though I know they might try some of the things, I try to give them ways of what's going to happen. So when I say what's going to happen and it happens, well, they'll believe me more in the future. So I get what you're saying, but nah, man, it's a
I have a question for you, Fame. I got a question for you. What if they ask you, what did you do?
I would tell them.
Okay.
And I think that's helpful. Because I remember trying to ask my mom like what she did when she was younger, and she was like, "I ain't telling you that." I was like, "Well, why not?" And then she was like, "Well, you need to know about my history." I was like, "Well, don't you think that if you told me some things, I would know more?" She said, "I don't care," which is fine. You know what I'm saying? She's right to her womanly thing. My dad, on the other hand, he would tell me, he would let me know what was up. So I tell my kids at a certain age, I don't tell them everything, because
No, of
age
course.
matters. Yeah,
Of
but
course.
like I'll give them little different tidbits of I've done this, I've did this, et cetera, et cetera. So they do feel comfortable with you more when you talk to them. When you always chastising them, telling them what they can't do, they don't really like respond to you too well after a while. But if you could just have casual conversations, and it's not just like
Mhm.
every day, my son comes in my room and we'll have a talk every day about what he's doing. I'll tell him what I'm doing. And I also think it's good to give your skills to your kids. Whatever you're good at, you pass it down to them. Sometimes they take it. My daughter, not so much. My son, yeah, he takes that full throttle. So I think that matters to give them a skill to pass down what you're learning, what you're doing that made you a success, so they can have that in the bag.
brother, we passing down skills. What you talking about? I got a BBL. I want my daughter to get a BBL. I'm wearing makeup. I want my daughter to wear makeup. I'm wearing my ass and titties out. I want my kids to have their ass and titties out. Those are skills that we passing down.
I don't know those type of skills.
I'm just being facetious,
I
but
know.
the dumb shit we pass down won't build family, it won't build wealth, it won't build community, it won't build any of that. You know what I'm saying? We'll teach our kids how to fight first, but the motherfucker can't read, can't swim. So
see, but that's why I push back on the easy, right? Because the truth is, anything that's easy to get usually ain't really worth having.
True.
Anything that's easy to get, you really wasn't supposed to have.
True.
The very problems that you can say that these kids is cooked is because they didn't go through the traumas, and I hate it because that's what they are, right? But these things, the traumas and the issues we had when we were younger, is what made you the man you are today.
That's fair. Yeah. That's true. I agree.
Right? When I look at these kids, I was born in '73. I grew up in the South Side of Chicago, right? And we'll go. Shout out, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the manor, you know what I'm saying? Bryn Mawr Elementary, right? And when we seen the little white kids, right, we'll go to the north side or downtown, right? White kids be losing their damn mind on the street, cussing their mama out, smacking their mama, running, trying to dash out in the street, right? Those are our kids now.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? This what people don't understand, right? When you don't give your children character building skills, they become the things that we said we hated. These kids can work an iPhone better than an Apple Tech, but can't write in cursive.
That's a fact.
That's true.
That is a fact.
A bunch of NPCs, and nobody can correlate it, right? Because everybody look at it like, oh, I'm doing better than my parents did. Ain't that what they say?
For the most part.
Money, fame, and accolades does not replace lessons.
Nope.
And some lessons, usually the best ones, are the ones that was hardest, that hit you the hardest. It's just what it is. What they say, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
That's a crazy statement, but that's wild.
It's true.
It is true, but that's wild though.
Yeah. Youth is wasted on the young. That is very true. I want to go back to something that Fame was saying about, like your mom wouldn't tell you about things that she did in the past, but your dad, was open with you about that. It's very important. We talk about relationships and marriage and things about that. A lot of that, we got to be careful. And not to say that, we all want our kids married per se. We want them to be happy however we want them to be happy. However, the relationships that you have with your kids and a conversation that you have with your kids help them to relate to some other person. Relationships. Relate is the first word in that. And so when you have a parent that doesn't want to be hot, honest, open, and transparent with you, it's hard for you to really open up to other people because you don't have that foundation in your home. I always tell parents that before you are a parent, you're a person. And it's very selfish of the person to not want to give information to the person that they created. It's almost like I want to bring you to this planet and not tell you anything about it. Like you're an alien. Like, I want you to just live in this world, and I'm not going to open up to you what the dangers, the fears, what I went through, the journey that I experienced. Those things are so important to share with your children. And if you don't think that that's important, I think that you need to sit down on a couch and ask somebody why it's hard for those things to come out of your mouth, because maybe you're not over them yet. You tried to parent a child and try to make them into something that your fear is going to turn into. So I think it's very important for parents to be able to be honest, open, and
Yes.
transparent with their kids. And like your dad is like, I'm not, I don't gotta tell you every little thing, but I have to tell you the human part, because a lot of kids see their parents sometimes as supermodels or heroes, or and they ish. And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to down nobody, but I'm just saying that they're human. They're not perfect. They're not God. They're not, they have their flaws. And if your children know a little bit of what you struggle with, then your child can relate to you.
Right, it
It's
helps.
like when it's time for you to go and relate to somebody else, you'll have the empathy to relate to them instead of not having that empathy because nobody did it for you. That's why
Right.
I don't have empathy, because it's like, oh, ain't nobody do it for me, so why I gotta do that for you?
Precious, you said something unique. Yes, kids look at their parents as superheroes until they realize the truth about them, and that's where they stuck at. When we look at, I mean, most kids look at parents like, yes, my dad, my mom, until you found out the truth about them. And a lot of young adults are stuck at that point right now. My parents didn't do this. Listen, I'm a Gen X. I'm a proud Gen X. My mother and father was the realest people I ever met. My father was the craziest dude I met. Well, I knew. My mother was real. They didn't sugarcoat nothing, nothing at all. And as I took it into the world, I understood how I must perform against other men. It wasn't about women. If women didn't like light skin, hey, move on. I didn't cry about it because I could find 10 more. And I'll say this, my last thing. And I heard this before. Children grow up looking like, most children, young adults grow up today looking like their daddy with the decisions of their mama. They made the decisions of the mama. Because it takes, it's hard when I see young men in their 20s and 30s struggling about work and relationships. I couldn't fathom that being when I was young, because I knew I had to go to work every day, regardless of what somebody said, because I wanted my own. And, and women, I didn't give them that. You ain't like me. I wouldn't go force you to like me. I wouldn't go strong on you and to like me. I moved on because there's 10 other ones that like me.
Facts.
I just chose the wrong one at that time. And I didn't take 6 months. Give me 3 days. I know exactly who your ass is, because I treat it all like a business. It's just like when you go to work, after 48 hours, you got a no call, no show. If I call somebody today and their ass ain't call me by Friday, I'm deleting your number. You ain't want to talk to me. It's not that important. And if I see you out, I might throw my head up, nod at you, wave at you, but I ain't running over to you, talk to you.
That's how you
So,
win, though. That's kind of how
bye.
that's kind of how you win, though. When you do it like that, sometimes you kind of win. Sometimes it's rare, but sometimes you get
Well,
a win
you
off
ignoring
that.
the red flags, then you get what you get.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You kind of win sometimes.
I look at
Yeah.
kids like this, right? I think I know it's a popular saying, right? But it applies. We grown folks try to act like they weren't never kids before, right? No, I talk to my kid even when they was young. I talked to them like they had some sense, because kids are smarter than we give them credit for, right? Just like you were when you were a child, right? And unfortunately, like I said, nobody knows really what they're gonna do when they in it. The only thing you got is your baseline convictions. Hopefully that the the circumstances at hand, that you'll be able to deal with them the way you believe you would. All right. That's why I don't get mad at my father. I don't. I have my issues with things, right? But it's my issue. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. It's my issue, right? It don't make him any less of a man. It don't make my mother any less of a woman, right? They had their problems. We all got shit, bro. We all got shit. But the truth of the matter is, right? Even if your parents was there and they prepared you, right? When you in that situation, when life happens, you the one who got to deal with it. And there's been plenty of people who believe they had the answers, right? The right answers. And when they got in that situation, the solution they had was wrong. right? We all in this thing to live it day by day and to go about it the way we see fit, right? Because it's your life. They gave it to you. You're here to complain about it. You're here to complain about it. Consider that a blessing.
That's true. That is true.
You win some, you lose some, but you live. Live a fight
All
another
right.
day.
Take your L's like you take your W's. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. It makes
Take
you a
your L's
stronger.
like you take your W's.
It makes you a stronger person at the end of the day, especially if you live to see through it and you learn from it, gain some wisdom. Man, you good after that.
It sounds good.
That's when the test truly is in session because
That's what it is. It ain't that it sound good. That's
No,
what it is.
listen, my crack era generation, they struggle with that shit. They struggle with that shit. They stuck. A lot of people be stuck on shit that happened to them when they were 17 in relationships. Men ain't shit. When they have well, back when I was 22, but you 42 now.
Until then,
Women ain't shit. So, you like you said, take your wins and your losses the same. Treat them the same. You learn from your losses, makes you stronger, better understanding about yourself. Most people are not willing to just put in the work. Everybody got their hand out. So
Do you think we need people like that? Because what if everybody was a winner? Wouldn't your life be a little bit harder?
I wouldn't think so.
Because you would have someone that's actually kind of in your way, possibly. Because if everybody is winning, that means you have to go 10, 100 times harder just because now someone is kind of in your way of getting what you want.
Well, it all depends. Like I would say that true between myself, Uncle Rick, and our pain. Our pain is generations ahead of a generation ahead of me. Me and Rick is right there together. Now for your guys, yes, but you won't listen. You ain't got to worry about the black man competing. You better worry about every other race of man compete. That's how I looked at the world. How am I going to compete to those guys? Not ninjas. I know what ninjas do, what they sound like, all that. But how am I going to stand up to the rest of the world outside when I leave my neighborhood, when I get away from the comforts of my home and my mama now? How am I going to compare to those men? Because those are the men I worry about competing with. Well, not today, but back when I was younger, that's where I thought. I'm not worrying about black folk. You can go anywhere you want. What do? We come home. We going out to our same friends, seeing what they doing. We realize half of them ain't doing shit. Same shit we was doing 5 years ago. So you winning against them. But then what about the rest of the world? Will I compete against them? And and look, men of like-minded who move that way, they have something to offer each other. They barter.
Okay, I get it.
That's
Okay.
all.
So one of the things, I'm sorry, Dane, one of the things I think we have a problem with is that I think a lot of people think that the pie of success is finite. It's not. It grows. It continues to expand. So some people think life is a zero-sum game. If I win, some people have to lose. That's not true. It's just not really true. I mean, they use the stock market, for example, say, listen, if I sell a stock and I make some money, the guy who bought it from me is going to lose. Maybe, but it could keep going up. Right? And if you ever look at a chart, it says the pie gets bigger. That means more people could participate. More people might lose, but people could win. There could be multiple winners, right? But the piece that I win with, depending on my risk tolerance, could be less than yours or more than yours. So I just think that, if we have a scarcity mindset and think that, that only a few people could win, then some people give up when it's hard. I don't believe that. I believe that the limiting factor is you. Is there some chance involved? Yeah, absolutely. Is there some grace involved? Yeah. But if you have a desire to be better than what you are, nobody's stopping you unless somebody physically actually does it, or you stop yourself. And that's it. Now you might want to be an astronaut, but you don't have the aptitude for that. But you could be something else. That's still successful. So I just think that I think we limit ourselves because of our doubts and all that other kind of stuff. I tell myself that, where I'm at in life, or even when I think about my relationship with my wife, could she find a better man? Maybe, but I could damn sure bet you that she could have found a worse one.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
So let me just land it there. I'm just saying, I think we just need to fix our mind to say, listen, everything's not necessarily, is everything possible? Maybe, but it's not probable. Everything's not probable, right? I mean, it's probably, but the possibilities, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but the truth of the matter is, I think people give up too soon based on their experiences. And I don't see it that way.
No, I got you. Your stock market example was very logical. In the beginning, I wasn't really following you, but I get it. The person that the one who wins big, okay, maybe he did win big, but the other person who quote unquote lost, maybe they didn't lose. Maybe they got what they wanted out of it. So technically, they didn't really lose. So I understood what you were saying. I got it. And then also when Coach Furry said that um, like-minded men do come together, and when like-minded men do come together, it's like the pie does get bigger because of what y'all do together. So that makes sense to me.
All right. Now I played the video with Cam, and did I get that up there? Oh wait, I didn't play the video with Cam.
No, you didn't play that yet. No.
Okay, so we're gonna get to that. Let me remove them. Because they this was actually good. Cam, I don't necessarily watch his interviews all the way through. I just see the snippets, but I actually watch this one all the way through because I have a drive now. So I look for things to watch and things to tune into. And I saw this, and Corey Holcomb. I was about to call him Corey Hartrick. That was
Holcomb.
that was
That's Ogre
Tia's husband. Corey
the twins.
Right, but no, Corey Holcomb was on.
Yeah, he was on Cam Newton's show.
Yes, Funky Friday. And he had this to say about. I thought we did play it though. He had this to say about the woman who.
I thought there was more. You did play it. I thought there was more.
Yeah, but okay. So now there's another video that I came across that I want to play because not necessarily a mental issue, but men feel as though women do all this stuff to compete with other women.
I don't like weave.
But we love to wear weave, honey.
Yes, and y'all wear weave for each other. Y'all don't wear weave for us. We'll take it though because that's what y'all do, but we don't prefer that stuff. Y'all wear that to be in competition with each other.
You are so
he kind of cooking. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He is really delusional.
That's real.
Like if you get your hair done, it's not really for us. We don't. It doesn't. It's not a make or break thing for a lot of.
You saying this? We like to have fun. Y'all doing it for y'all. It's not. It's not for us.
For ourselves, not to be in competition.
Yeah,
right. It's for y'all.
Do you put on a chain to be in competition with another man?
No. Anybody? No.
Competition.
We're talking about hair. We're talking about.
Yeah, but that's for us. That's not in competition.
And she's asked me, what do I like?
Yeah.
I have a right to have.
You do.
Very true.
You do.
But you could have kept the part when you said
you said we do it for competition. Yeah.
You ladies do it for yourself. Y'all don't.
When y'all get your hair done, who's the first one to compliment you on your hair? Another woman, right?
Most likely. Hyena with a lion's mane on. I mean, come on. Jeez.
So as soon as he said that, it just blew up and it erupted. He could say that,
right.
Y'all do this and y'all don't do it for us. But as soon as he said that you do it to be in competition with other women, all of them, I think every single last one of them were like, oh no, you're misogynist, you're delusional. That's not why we do it. You guys have the same sentiments that when women do all the lashes, wigs, and hairstyles and things like that, do you think that they're actually doing it for themselves, or do you think that they're doing it to be in competition with others?
I don't think they do it for competition, but I also don't think they do it for themselves either.
Okay, so
what do they do it for?
I think they do it for attention from them for other men. Honestly, they can say they do not, but nah, man, because when I go on TikTok and I'm just going through the live sections or whatever, If I see a beautiful woman on there, it's just a bunch of horny men in her comment section.
Mhm.
So if they wasn't doing it for men's attention, then they wouldn't wear what they wear. They would just go on there with, looking bare natural. But they know that if they put this type of outfit on, or if they have this type of hair on, these lashes on, they will get more views and attention from men because they're not getting it from women. That's just my 2 cents on it.
You're partially right though. Let me just say my piece real quick. They do it. They're in competition. If you look at the peacocks, right, with the big bloom, they do that shit to attract the mate. But the ones with the biggest, you could have a series of peacocks doing that blooming shit. But the ones who have the biggest bloom get the most attention. So women might not say they don't do it between themselves. It's they do all that shit to compete with each other to see who gets the best men. That's why they go to these extremes, right? So they don't have, forget about what they admit to. It's just all bullshit. The women do, and so the problem really is that's one problem. The other problem is that the men that they attract doing that are the men who just want to smash them out. The guys who might be worth something long term, they don't see those guys. They just see those. They just see the guys who give them the attention that they seek. That's like sex to women. The pre-sex. That's like the pre-sex to these chicks. How many likes do I get? How many people in my DMs? So they compete against each other for that. And then it's really to attract the men. But the men they attract are the guys who just want to smash them out. Because any guy who wants a long-term relationship, most guys, not all, will say, that's a bit much. Like for me, I don't know about you, Fame, or anybody else. None of us who have wives would want our wives in the Instagram with 1,000 niggas coming after. That's why we don't accept my wife saying, or a woman saying, I want to have male friends. Because whether she wants to smash them or not, I just don't want her to be around men who want to bang her ass out. It doesn't matter what she wants. I don't want you to be around guys who want to bang you out. That's it. So it's the way you look at it. So I'm not saying you were wrong, but the real piece of puzzle, they do compete against each other. And it makes them do stupid shit like at BBLs. And,
Okay.
and more balloon and shit than the other guy. Your ass is big, but I'm gonna make mine bigger. And even if I look like an ant, it don't matter.
Okay,
They
but
can't even walk.
how about I hear what you're saying, but let's say like this though, like you were saying, like the quote unquote regular guy, right? Don't need or really want all that, which is fine. But
Right.
the regular guy also don't make himself stand out. From my understanding, what I've seen, the regular guy think it's okay just to be regular, and because I'm regular and I have this good situation, I'm stable, that should be enough for you. And I don't think that's actually the case. You can't just be regular and then think you're gonna get the woman that you actually want. I don't see
I got
that
an
really
answer
being
for
a
you. I
thing.
got an answer for you. I do.
I'm
If you just,
listening.
I do. I have. I mean, it doesn't have to be right because I hear where you're coming from. If you're a regular guy, what the freak do you have to? What the freak business do you have trying to get a 9 and a 10? Those superficial. I mean, how about looking for a regular woman? You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I outkick my coverage, right? But the fact is that the average dude, if you're looking for these chicks who are superficial, then you're doing something just as bad as the chicks injecting their asses. You ain't really a regular guy. You're a regular guy wanting an extraordinary life with some beautiful trophy wife that you can't handle.
I agree.
So there's a lot of regular women out there, even though they might be delusional too. But you're set, just like women set their shit too high, men do that too every so often.
But the
And you
majority.
said
Go ahead,
you
I'm
said
sorry.
a
Go ahead.
regular guy as opposed to what's the regular guy differentiating from what's the other guy?
I'm saying like a regular guy who's making anywhere from 30 to 60K a year, right? He's able to he has a home, car. You know what I'm saying? He
He
works
can
in regular.
afford to live. He can
You know what I'm
afford to
saying?
live.
He can afford to live, and he's fine with that. But it seems like those guys don't really go for regular girls, or rather, they don't even understand how to speak to a woman in general. So they go for the women who look as though they're easier to get look wise, and I think that'd be the majority of the problem.
Go ahead, Uncle Rick. Well, go ahead.
Okay. See, but that's the understanding, right? That's the understanding, right? That a woman that looks a certain way, in most cases, right, comes with a certain type of headache, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's just to answer that. But as far as the competition, it's like my bro Payne said, right? They're in competition for men, right? They try to play like they do it for themselves, but if that was the case, there would be no need to dress up to a concert where it's going to be dark 90% of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right? That amazes me. Like, what are you dressed up for? They're just hoping they have that Chris Brown moment that their favorite artist pulls them up to the stage and kisses them, and she leaves her boyfriend in the audience, the man that paid for the front row tickets with his dumb ass, right? And they live happily ever after. They're always in competition with each other. What they do, see, but what the sisterhood does, right? What they try to do is take the validation out of the men's hands.
I see
Girl, you beautiful. You beautiful, girl. Look at you, girl. You slaying, girl. Slay, girl. Slay. Same thing they do with the LGBT guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see. That's a good point, man. I ain't think about it like that.
They try to pull it back. They try to make the competition about them when they really know it's about the man they want to catch. I ain't say the one they're gonna catch, but the man they're gonna catch. You don't go out saying I'm gonna catch a woman tonight. You never said that. I'm gonna catch me one. What them girls be saying when they going out to the clubs? I'm gonna catch me a man tonight, girl. This is the lie. This is what I'm saying. The whole thing's a lie. It's a charade, right? It's a charade. Right? We choose at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? For a relationship, for us to go in our pockets for a lifetime, to take care of a woman, we choose. Plain and simple, short and sweet. No matter what they say, no matter what a woman put on them, no matter what she want to convince herself or people, that man came out of pocket because he wanted to. Because he wanted to. And just like we done had this conversation, use this as reference, slow people, this video, right? The same way she gave up them draws. It's because she wanted
to. Facts.
You got yourself pregnant. Dicks be dicking, facts. What you think was gonna happen? That's what they tell us, right? What you think? Hey, Coach Ferg, what you think was gonna happen if you pulled up at a 10, right? And she pulled up in the Benz and got dropped off. And what you think was gonna happen? You thought she wasn't gonna hit you for your pockets, my boy?
Yeah, it's already in the discussion. What you putting on it?
We're all here to do what we're all here to do. Shout out to the Matrix. This is the lies we tell ourselves. And like women know when they get pregnant, they going to the bank on you. They know that. They know that. It's a given. The reason why she let you shoot up in her because she felt somewhere down in her heart, I can get him. She might like you. Listen to what I'm saying. She might like you for real. She might like you, but if she let you hit it raw, deep down inside, she's saying, I can get him.
You already said it. When she let you hit it raw, she already
come on, my boy.
You already calculated your pocket.
Right. So again, push them back 20938 on 1023 on the Real Precious video. That argument is mute and dead. This is the game. It's the people. The game never changes. It's the players.
That's it. It's the players in the game.
The game has been the same. But we lie to ourselves about what it really is. And until you tell the truth about what it really is, you're going to be stuck in it. That's all I get.
The
And you
game
know what?
is
I don't know if I'm ruining what I don't want. Let me get a second so what Rick said just kind of settles in. And me being a married man, one of the things I just leave with you guys. One of the things that my relationship with my wife that makes it important to me is that everything that she does for me, everything she has done over the years, is because she wants to. Because she absolutely wants to. Not because I told her to, not because I'm the man, not because when we got married, my wife wanted to marry me. She wanted it, and that makes all the difference. That's how I could distinguish between whether whatever her ulterior motives is, she wanted to be my wife. And we carry that thing through everything. She just wanted to be with me. Now, she can look at me with contempt from time to time. I could think that. But, I burn credits. But the fact is that, I feel back, but I know how to replenish those credits I burn. But, she just wants to do shit, man. Just like and I tell her, I'm obligated to her for that, and I want to do stuff for her too. But with the women, it's important that they want to do stuff for you. And not because they have to. I mean, it's because they want to. That makes a difference for me.
One of the biggest identifiers when it comes to a woman knowing that she wants to do stuff for you, when your birthday arrives. When your birthday's coming up, they looking for gifts. If you don't get no gift, she don't want you, just one of the many on their rotation. I'm serious. My wife bought me a birthday gift when I was about 3 years ago. I almost cursed her out. Because there's no way that I would have spent the money that she spent to get me those gifts.
Okay, that's why. That's
There's
why.
no way. I'm like, what are you doing?
But but what she receives probably outweighs that. See, there are a lot of women that's like, this ain't nothing because what I receive outweighs this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you're right. I knew that she wanted to marry me when she had a jam toe, and I pulled it back into place.
Oh my God.
She tells me that all the time. She's like, my toe was messed up and you fixed me. And at that moment, she's like, you fixed my feet. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't walk around with nubby toes if it wasn't for me. But the things that I do for her, even like now, like I was saying, in working on the closet, she's looking at like, because I know it gets exciting when she see me, because she come down there and she try to critique it. She's finding little dumb shit that I correct as I go. So just being, I think, and this is, this is my second marriage, but I think I was open to it when we met. She was definitely open to it because the way she spoke to me, the way she kept coming at me, and she knew I had a roster. She knew it. But she told me, whenever you're ready, just let me know. And I had to sit back and look like, what the hell is she talking about? And I tried to fight it, but then I realized I wasn't doing nothing but tricking. I was in my mid-40s. I got hair over. I can't eat over here. I can eat over here. Got to turn my phone off over here. You're doing a whole bunch of back and forth, and you ain't really doing nothing but tricking. But since I settled down, everything in my life is like quadrupled. 10%. I've been retired for 2 years. I'm 56 years old. I'm finding shit to do. But I realized the fact that she was willing to put all of her eggs in our basket together and we sorted out from there, it gave her a vision different. I know it gave me a vision because now I can concentrate everything I have in one space. And it ain't always been smooth sailing, but when it comes down to us just communicating, because we had this thing where we don't go to bed until we talk it out. You know what I'm saying? And then we would have to drive around the block a couple times. And then once we got on the same track, everything seemed to blossom. She trusts me. She asked me to go out on Friday. Go on out, have a good time. I'm over looking like, what you trying to do? I'm questioning. I had a dream. I've had a dream one time. My wife was messing around on me with Tupac.
Oh my God.
Man, I got up, man. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, who you cheat on me with? She like, what are you talking about?
Y'all
I'm
be
like,
having
what happened with Tupac? I was calling your name and shit. You didn't even answer. But you know,
I ain't know what's having them dreams, y'all. I didn't.
but I'm just saying though, that shit will happen. But it just takes. I guess you got to
She
be in the
had
right
your ass
headspace.
spooked.
Yeah, and that was crazy. Tupac had me worried because she know I like Tupac. But I think every person is different.
Hey, she do too. She do too.
Yeah, she do. She do. She do. They was holding it. But every person is different. And I think where you are now, and I'm not just speaking to you, in your 30s, your vision changes as you get closer to 40.
Right.
It changes. And you just have to be willing to, like I said, find somebody who understands what you're about and is willing to invest in you where you are. You know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to grow together, make some negotiations, but everybody's different, man. It's a time now, man. Y'all the strongest, man. I know you in your 30s, brother, probably 32 or something, 33. I know you said it before, but y'all fighting the most, but y'all doing the most fucking and having the most babies.
I'm saying like yes and no. I mean, I think it's also. I think I said this before. It's just too many options. You know what I mean? But it's not just. It's not just. There's a bunch of women that are just having sex all the time. It's not just that. There's also women out here who are good for conversational pieces. Good to hang around with and just talk it out. Sometimes they like what I like. And we don't really do anything at all but just chill or go to a movie. We have game nights and things like that. And there's so many different options. I just don't know what to choose. So it's not like I'm out here just smashing everything that I see. There's also other qualities that they all have, and it's very difficult to choose, especially now we have this worldwide internet thing. And I'm not saying that I'm flying girls from other states. They could just be in my area. You know what I'm saying? So
Do you
Married men up here.
do you believe you can find like all of those women have different qualities?
Yeah, it's true.
They bring. Do you think you could ever find one that has the qualities of all the other women together?
I think that's impossible.
Ooh.
It'd be nice. It would be nice. Nah, bro. That's
the
impossible.
80-20 rule, bro. It's the 80-20 rule.
That's impossible. I don't think there's no woman out there for me. You know what I'm saying?
There isn't one. It's called 80-20.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there is no woman out there that's gonna have everything that I want within her. Impossible.
So then the question really is, then, are you prepared to be single forever?
Yep, sure am.
Okay.
I'm cool with it.
I mean, whatever the
It
ramifications.
sounds good till you get some gray hair.
I mean, even with gray hair, like my homie,
You start needing glasses and shit.
my homie David died. You know what I'm saying, with a sweet thing in his bed. So I think I'll be okay if that's the case. So I think we'll be fine over here if it comes down to that.
I mean, as long as you could come to grips with, that's what that's the thing. If you could come to grips with, and for men, you got to project, and I think we could do that better than women. You got to see yourself at 50, at 55, at 60, and see how you extrapolate how you feel today. Is that going to be the same way and you're not going to be perfect at it, but you might have to start looking at that by looking at men who are by themselves at that. I told my daughters that too. They're still in the mix. But I'm saying don't give me none of this feminist shit while you're still fertile, while you still could have children, while you still, because you all need covering from a man at some point. Right now, I'm covering you. I ain't gonna be here forever, right? So so you can give me all this horse shit that you're talking about now, but what about at 40? What about at 45 when you can actually physically see that fertility door closing on you, right? Are you prepared for that? Because it's gonna come. It's gonna come, and we see that all over the place with women who are hitting that. I don't even want to say the wall, hitting that fertility end where menopause starts, and haven't really, hit their biological imperative, because we all have an imperative, right? So, you even if you can handle it, I'm not saying you're gonna die if you don't have a baby and a man, but you're damn sure you're gonna wrestle with that mentally at some point. You got to be prepared for that, because that's where you're headed.
But why
Right?
let I don't
So men is different than women, but we still going to have to come to those realizations that some things may not be available to us. For men, is a little less, right? We saw a 75-year-old man have a baby. Was it Al
yeah.
Pacino and shit?
Yeah, yeah, it's
You
way
know,
less now.
so,
Yeah,
but for women, for sure, they need to come to grips with that shit.
they
And it's a
never
difference between a woman with a baby at 45 and a woman without one at 45, whether they're married or not. There's a difference mentally, no doubt.
I don't think they're ever gonna come to grips with it. And I think that's
But
fine.
then, yeah, they might not.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's just the way it's always going to end up being. I also think it's a good thing, not really for the women, but it's a good thing for men out there in general. It kind of, you look at it and you see it, it's always going to be an option for you, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. As long as you took care of yourself and took care of your finances, as a man, if you want some type of companionship, it may not be real love, but you still get companionship from it. And most of the time, like, men will be fine with that. Oh, whatever.
I hear you. I
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
mean, you ain't lying. It's just this
I hear you. I do hear you.
everything.
Yeah, he changed the picture. That's nice though. I mean, that's a nice picture. I ain't gonna hold you, but like finding, I'm not saying that's impossible. I think I could find something like that. Is if I actually wanted to find something like that. It's just I still don't see the point in it. I don't see why would I do something like that. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't, logically, it doesn't make sense to me. Especially when I can understand if I decided to sit where I'm at in life financially and I was going to sit here, then yeah, then maybe then that would be the case. But every year I tend to get better, and the better you get, the more things that you can do in life. So why would I do that now? Would I just keep upgrading every other year? That's just my thing on it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That shit get expensive. That's why.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah, like
You'll
when he
see.
stepped back and realized what he was doing, it wasn't nothing but tricking, right? So once he got married, he realized he could multiply even more because now he ain't got to worry about being on this side of town and ducking. Now he ain't got to worry about having the face phone down because he tricking and he hiding and you could. It seems like you could be more free when you focusing on one person, and you want somebody that's gonna see your trajectory, right? You want a woman with vision like you have and see like this is a great man. He has vision. He has, so when you say that it seems like, and not to say that you have it right now at this moment, but you're okay with having a handful of women, and then you say that they don't have what you want, but you don't want to necessarily settle down with a woman right now. So is it that they don't have what you want, or you don't want what they want?
It's just that no, it's just that there's a lot of options available at the very same time. So it's not like they don't have what I want. I only deal with women that I kind of like. I like to have conversations with women. That's one of the best things. So if we can't have a conversation, I'm not attracted to you. So that's one of the main things right there. It's just that. So,
Hold up. Did you just say if y'all can have a conversation, you're not attracted to them?
No.
He said the
I
opposite.
said,
okay.
yeah. I gotta.
Like what?
No, we
Wait,
got it.
what are you saying? Because that's what I thought I heard too.
No.
He said the opposite. I caught it. I
was like, what?
No, I'm saying like we have to have a good conversation. Like
Yeah.
I might like you physical at first, right? And that's fine.
Yeah.
But then when we start talking, if we have a good conversation, then that's when I actually like you. So I never really like you when we first meet up. That's fine. I just caught you from physical. But we start talking and I like you. Then there are some times where I get conflicted. I'll be like, yo, I really like this girl. Maybe I should be around her and I just do it with her, and we can maybe make something together. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's just something that clicks.
Fear. I was talking about that. The fear of it.
I'm not fearful, man. Like it's just I get what you're saying about fearful. It really is like I think it's also because they just accept who I am. So like they will accept, like they know I still got other women and they cool with it. So So what am I doing? Like if you're cool with it.
You sound like Cam Newton. Cam Newton said that the woman that he's with now, what's her name?
whatever her name is. I guess.
Is it Jessica? I forget what her name is, but the woman that he is with now, he enjoys being with her because during being with her, he has cheated on her. He has slept with other women, but he likes being with her because she has the patience with him through his evolution of not sleeping with women anymore, or I don't even know if he's out of that. Like, you know what I mean?
Cheating on her? Is he cheating on her? Is he cheating on her, or is he
He
just
admitted
open
that
to
he
do?
has.
How can he cheat?
Yeah, we
They're
use
not
those
married,
words
though.
as cheaping, but she knows what he's doing. It's not cheating.
Yeah, exactly. That's thank you, RP.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
she knows what he's doing.
Well, what I'm saying is what
The
Cam is saying. He sounds just like Cam Newton, and what he's saying, pretty much saying, if you know that this is what I'm doing, but we can have a civil conversation about it, and not you at my throat, like, why are you out there cheating on me, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It makes him like her more. So
No, that's cool. It's Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1.
7, 1 man. Is that what we going?
Yeah,
yeah.
No, all I'm just trying to say is it's a prophecy that women are going to be cleaving to the guys, and they're already doing it.
It's happening now.
You know, so I thought we were going to get to the Cam Newton thing because I really took umbrage with what the chick was saying about him and Nick Cannon. I really had a lot of problems with that because of the hypocrisy of it. Because women want men to be traditional, but that's the last thing a lot of women want. So when these guys said, okay, in the modern era, I'm gonna play your game. I'm gonna buy my children from you. Right? I want a legacy, but I don't want to be married because being married is a bad deal for rich men. It's no way around it. It's a horrible deal. It's a bad business move. But I want to have children. So listen, I'll make a deal with you. Here's the NDA. I'll give you a baby. And you know what? I'll be in their lives based on what I could afford. And look, Nick Cannon spends more than $3 million a year on his children. He's not on child support, by the way, in any court. All those women agree with him having babies. Now, he's involved in their lives. And people say, well, you're not around them. So I really took umbrage with the lady who's called herself a doctor, passing judgment, because it's hypocritical. Because back in the day, back in my day, 100,000 years ago, in order for us to take care of our families, we had to work. But there was a 10-year period in there. I didn't see my kids, but maybe a couple of times out of every month, because I had to be on the road all across the United States. So my daughter still loved me, even though I wasn't there for a stretched period of time. So as long as you pay attention to them, and here's another thing. Listen, say with Nick Cannon, that money acts as an extension of him. It keeps the ladies happy because I don't hear them complaining. I don't hear his kids coming out with hit pieces. I don't hear none of that stuff. And he's with those kids as much as he can be. But that money makes that connection because the women ain't chirping. The kids they got better lives than 90% of all the kids out there. And we can't just blame the fact that they're not traditional with women who are not traditional. Right? The fact that marriage is dead almost, and I'm a married man, and the fact that relationships are not traditional anymore is not because of men. It's because of women. It's because of women. You want me to be a traditional man, but the last thing you want to do is be a traditional woman. Right? And it's not a good deal. It's just not. So me and my wife, we're together because I had shit I knew my wife married me because she wanted me. It wasn't because of what I had. It wasn't because I was on the top of the world and any of that stuff. So we built everything we had, we built together. So she's entitled to half everything I got. Right? Because we worked that stuff together. But you can't wait at the finish line. And here's the thing. Here's a real quick, I'm going to shut up here. The real reason why women don't like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, because they can't control them. Women want to be in control of men. and they can't control those two guys, and that pisses women off. And that's the same thing if I extrapolate it to Obama and the women calling black men who don't vote for Kamala some kind of misogynist and all. It's about control. These guys don't want to be controlled. And if they get married, they'll be the biggest idiots in the whole world. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do a show on my Monday night show, meaning that men of means should never get married in the U.S.
Thank you.
Forget about marriage. That shit's over.
Thank you.
Don't get married.
Thank you.
You know, just buy your children. That's going to be the subtext.
Oh my goodness.
Just buy your legacy. Buy your legacy.
What?
He's
It's
making
called
points.
legacy.
What?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, Precious. I will build the whole thing. I will build.
I mean, you said buy your children.
Yeah, buy your legacy. Buy your legacy.
Buy your legacy?
Yeah, Michael Jackson did it.
I agree. In today's world, yeah, I agree with that for a young man because one thing women do know about children is that children are like money in the bank. Because and I tell he's 21. I'm telling him if he has a child out of wedlock, he gonna struggle for a very long time, and I would not help him. I won't buy a diaper. I ain't buying no milk. I ain't buying none of that shit. Because I told him, I'm telling him, if you want to have children, get married. Even if it takes you a while to find that person, do that. But don't get out here, especially for a black man in America, have a child out of wedlock. That's going to hold you up the next 20 years of your life.
If you're a regular dude, just
Yeah, regular dude, don't have no children.
Regular dude, that's true. We're not talking about regular men.
But
Women don't
that's
care
what
what regular dudes do.
But I care what regular dudes do, our thing, because one,
I know you do.
Regular dudes.
that's 90% of us are regular.
But nobody gets mad at regular dudes, man. They get mad at guys like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon because these guys are rich, and the fact that they won't get tied down so the courts could take half of their wealth. And part of the whole thing is that if you look at the top women, the top billionaire females, almost 90% of them got that money out of divorce.
I thought it was all of them. But
okay. Yeah, so the fact is that a man who's rich,
and they don't even marry. The women that work to that point,
just
they
say,
don't marry.
so it's a calculation. It's less. See, even if you have a prenup, the judges circumvent the prenup by making child support payments into alimony. Right? So when they asked Kevin Costner to pay his wife $200,000 for 3 children a month, that's absurd.
Jeez, they doing my Kevin like that?
Yep.
You know what they're gonna do to the regulars.
Yeah,
You know what they're gonna do to the regulars.
the regular dude is paying a 17% shit.
Man,
I'm paying in the state of Kentucky, it's up to 40% of your pay.
It depends on what state you're in.
It depends on the state. Yes.
So
before taxes. Before taxes.
I think that men need to come out and say, that's what's real. It's a conversation that's worth having. Because men are going to get married, but the marriage rates are low for 2 reasons. One, women don't want to be traditional wives. They want partners. And then men, it's just a bad financial deal if you're rich and wealthy and even well-to-do. Here's the worst kind of man. If I have enough money to buy my big house and a couple of good cars, and now I'm 50 years old and my wife decides, you know what, I'm not feeling you no more, so I'm leaving. Not because I did anything, she's not feeling you no more. She takes my house, she takes the car, they give her the kids and everything, and then I had to start over. I'm telling you, it's just a bad deal. It really is. And so and I feel sorry for men because we fall in love and women fall in business for the most part. So I mean, even in my life, my wife is calculating a little bit too. I mean, she looked at me, every so often I hear the cash register. No, my wife is a good person. But the fact is, but women are women, and I don't know if it's a bad thing, but women look for security. They look for safety. They look for these kind of things. And even if they're rich, look what Angelina Jolie did to my man Brad Pitt. Right? It's not even all the ways about the money. I mean, she hated this guy. And it's gone on for years and years all over. His kids are alienated. And he couldn't have, maybe he wasn't a perfect husband, but come on. I don't think he did anything that warranted what he's going through.
All them kids that they adopted?
Well, no, some of them belong to both of them.
Oh, and she's alien.
They got 2 or 3 that belongs to them. They all changing their names and everything.
Oh,
you
wow.
know. So, I mean, but that's just an example. All I'm just saying, I know Precious. I don't want to revoke my Precious card. You know,
What
but
do you mean?
I think what they do. I think what the lady said and did it with Cam Newton at 42 years old with no children. And still, and I think there was a podcast where she said she would mess with a man under 30.
Yeah.
She would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She said that. She said
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are you talking about?
Oh,
You
no,
know, because a man in 42 years old saying he messed with a 26-year-old woman, he's going to get nothing but shit.
He gonna do it anyway though.
You know, he'll do it anyway. For
Yeah,
sure.
it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
It won't matter. Like you said, fame, it won't matter. A man will always have the opportunity to find a woman. Point blank, no matter what age. Even if he is older and he now wants to settle down, whoever is in his vicinity at that time and he likes and respects her, he's going to give her that title. And women can't control that like you were saying earlier, that's not something that a woman can control. So, my thing is, I was going to ask the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Arpain, you talk about, and then we'll do final thoughts and get out of here. But you talked about how your wife, wanted to marry you and she wanted to do those things for you. What about the women who want to do those things for a man, but the man is focused on other women who don't necessarily want to do those things for him, but for some reason he's hooked on those other women? What do you say to that dynamic?
Well, she has a choice to make. Because if she wants to do something for a guy and he, just feigns like she's the one, but he got all these other women in his orbit, she has a choice to say no to him. Right? If especially if you ask her to marry him, I don't think a woman should acquiesce to marrying a man that she knows can't settle for her. Like all the women who marry basketball players and entertainers, you can't tell me that they don't know that these guys have side pieces. So if they say yes, that comes along with the territory. It's almost the same as a man marrying a woman with a kid.
Right.
Not that she's stroking the ex-husband, the ex-boyfriend, but the fact is you're willing to take the baggage that comes with the relationship. Right. So if you're going to marry a baller, you can't play this innocent victim because all the women, just like all the women want this dude. And that's how I look at it. So you're right. So the woman still has a choice. If I ask you to marry me, you still have a choice to say no. You do. You have a choice to say no. And you could regret the fact that you have to weigh the odds of having a life that you can't have with Pookie and Ray Ray against a life of being with a guy part-time that you have to share. And I'm not saying that's an easy choice for a woman. I wouldn't say that, especially the kind of woman if you are. But you can set ground rules, right? Hey, listen, if you're going to cheat, no diseases, no outside kids, none of this stuff, and don't have your bitch calling me on the phone. Yeah. What I'm saying?
I think that's and a lot of women, this is the real pressures, but a lot of women will be like, oh, well, why would I have to do that? He should be a good man and blah, 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 blah. But you have to look at the reality of certain situations. And those are conversations that, should be in the
you got to have those conversations.
Walls, right. But you have to be realistic. And I think a lot of women go into certain situations not being realistic and get heartbroken by the expectations that they set in their head that he didn't necessarily agree to. He didn't, y'all didn't have this conversation. You just want him to be a certain way without saying, hey, this is what I'm willing to put up with. This is what I'm not willing to put up with. He's saying, this is what I'm willing to give. This is what I'm not willing to give. I think those are important conversations to have. So you're not, blindsided. And I don't think anybody's ever really blindsided. It's just you didn't want to face the reality of what was going on.
I have one more thing to say on that too, Precious. Depending on the age of that woman, don't be sitting out here trying to marry me when I know through your 20s you was riding a carousel and all of a sudden I got to be faithful to you with all my money and give it. Listen, if I'm accepting you, you may have a kid, you may not, but don't tell me you wasn't bouncing around from cop. I got to sit here and be some kind of, one man woman when you had all the experiences in the world. I'm not buying it. These girls, these women ain't marrying them coming out of the house with their fathers and stuff. Some of these women, if you're in that circle with these kind of men, you're in that circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're in that type of circle. I can understand that mentality. But all right, so we're gonna get to the final thoughts. I appreciate everyone who was on the show tonight.
Coach Fred.
Everyone who has showed up, Coach Ferg, Arpain, everyone in the chat. Thank you guys. But we're gonna get to final thoughts. The topic, or the title, I should say, is You Don't Like Her, Healthy Relational Space. I named it You Don't Like Her because of the first video that I played. The resounding, pretty much opinions of that video was that men don't like women if, you can't go longer than 5 days, 4 nights, whatever it was, on a vacation with her. And we kind of broke down the mentalities of these men in the video. We also talked about what's his name? Cam Newton and Corey Holcomb, and how pretty much you find your queen by who she is and not necessarily how she looks. We talked about the BBLs, how women with BBLs have mental issues. And then we also talked about how women wear the wig, the weaves, the eyelashes, and things of that nature to be in competition with other women. So with all that being said, we'll start with Coach Ferg. Give your final thoughts. We'll move to Arpain, and then we'll get up out of here.
Well, again, another classic. So, just to the men or the women, it doesn't matter. Listen, I'm gonna go off track. I'm tired of y'all going through life based off y'all feelings. Go off of reality, truth, and logic. Forget hell with your feelings. My father taught me a long time ago, nobody give a damn about your feelings in the world. When you see a need to change your life, change your life. If you can't be around your partner, whatever you want to call it, partner, wife, husband, more than 48 hours, 72 hours, you with the wrong partner. So it's imperative that, going, because this is that modern time, that you have the conversations early and often. See who they are within their family. Don't avoid the red flags. And if you're looking for someone, be intentional, like Arpain always say. Be intentional about what it is you want. And with the way they give up the cake so easy today, just be open and honest about it. Do that until you're ready to find a wife or a husband. Have the conversations about it. Don't assume anything. So, it's just a unique time. I would hope that the people who are 10, 15 years younger than me, I hope that y'all can find peace and work it out to some capacity. Because right now, and listen, I'm not putting it on anybody. Y'all fucking everything up. All of y'all first generation.
You froze, Coach Ferg. I don't know if you can hear me, but he was probably about to say the first generation cracker. He froze though. You might have to Come back in. Why I mess up his final thought like that? I can't even. All right, so we'll go to our pain and then we'll go to fame. And if Coach Fur comes back in, we'll have him complete his final thought. I can't even. It won't even let me. Like, okay, there we go. I'm gonna try and remove him and bring him back. All right. Our
Hey,
pain.
listen, listen, the first video with the guys, if you can't be around your girl for more than a couple of days, then she's not your girl. You're not a guy. I mean, I think that's just silliness. And I don't even want to put it on just the young guys, but it seemed like because these guys are young, just playing around, they're not really serious with those women. And so, or the woman that they went on vacation with. So, but Corey Holcomb is right. I think he has a point with women who alter themselves for attention and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's a real stretch. I think that's true. Whether, mental illness doesn't have to be like this acute thing, but women who are not naturally not attracted to themselves, if they're not a problem now, they'll be a problem down the road. Right. So if I was vetting a woman for quote unquote the marriage thing, I would have a lot of trouble with a woman who's altered herself that much. And there's a couple things I don't like. So I mean, that's just a simple thing. So I think that's really it. I think this was a good conversation. I think men like Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, they get a bad rap. Even though, because they shouldn't be anybody's role model, because everybody can't move like that. The Pookie from the neighborhood who don't have 2 nickels to rub together with 10 kids, he's a drain on society because he impacts 10 families. Because the women have to go back and get support from 10 different families. There's no such thing with Cam Newton. He pays for all of the burdens he puts on those women. And even the first woman, he was a step baby daddy. He accepted her with a kid, right? And treated that kid like his own. And I can guarantee you he told her he didn't want to get married. And she kept giving him babies. So not he should get a pass, but he should be vilified for it. That woman's having a better life than most women out there. The biggest argument I heard about them was over the car. Not where she lives, not how the kids are being raised, none of that stuff. So, and then whoever else he's dealing with. And Nick Cannon, all his baby mamas are happy as hell. They're happy as hell with the decisions they've made because they ain't saying nothing. Women are quiet these days. NDA or not. Right? So I haven't heard anything. And, he paid over $3 million a year. He's not on child support in any court. That means the women have agreed to do what they've done. So I don't know how to vilify a man for making a deal with women who want partners. He's got a business and he's got like 7 partners.
Okay, so it's okay for the rich man to have partners, but not the regular man.
If you can't afford it, no.
Right.
If you're going to be a burden on society, no.
Because I know that you said that a lot of women today want partnership, right. But it's better for what I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's better for a man who has the means to have a partner rather than a man who wants to get married and he doesn't necessarily have the means. Like Cam Newton is better for it.
I think broke men like me get married. So the woman could take broke, she could have the other half of my nickel, okay? But rich men shouldn't. I think rich men should be very concerned about being married in the present circumstance. I don't know how many other examples we need to have, especially with no fault divorce. A woman gets up, she's vested for 5 years. Listen, there ain't no problem for a woman to give you box for 5 years and decide to leave. It's either you or somebody for chicken dinners. And so now you're a rich man. I can do it for 5 years. And then now it's time for me to leave. For 10 years, now it's time for me to leave. And I'm taking half of your shit. I don't understand why men will ever do that. Why? I could kiss you and love you from afar. I could treat you like a queen, and we don't have to be married for that.
Facts.
We don't have to be married for that. So I just think it's a bad business deal, and that's it. And it's nothing against the women. It's just like you just can't give nobody a loaded gun. If you get rid of no fault divorce, then we could. I think if no fault divorce was gone, and child support could not be used as a weapon to circumvent prenups, I think men would flock to marry women again.
Mm.
Because now they're safe. Now they're safe. They could, now we have something to talk about. I'm at least protected, and the government is not against me. Oh, the one other thing is, I don't think women should default have access to the kids. I think it should start at 50-50, and who's the better parent should have the kids. If they're from newborn to maybe 3 years old, I could dig it with the woman. But after that, man, it should be a 50-50 proposition. Because we have CDC results saying men are better parents if they got to do it singly. Because we could just look in the news and tell about how parentage is with just women and men. We got all those crazy guys out there, with Hercules muscles and damn emotions like a woman. They're dangerous as hell. So I don't know. This sounds like I'm against women, but I'm not. I got daughters. I want them to be safe, but I'm covering them. And I'm getting old. But you know what? I'm gonna end it here. They might keep me alive forever if they don't get married, because I'll be worried about it. I can't die. I can't. I gotta stay alive. Somebody gotta cover them. It might as well be me for now. Anyway, I'll end it there, man. Thanks, Precious, for listening to my bullshit. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, RP.
I am serious, but it's still, sounds so cool.
I appreciate you. Fame, your final thoughts? You came up a little late towards the end, but
yeah, my Wi-Fi kicked out for whatever reason. But I just think that people should do what's best for them in the long run, and don't let anyone else tell you what's good for you. There's all these gurus out there telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I think that's BS. You look at your life, and what works for you is gonna work for you. I mean, you still may make some mistakes. I think it's better to make a mistake with your own plan than trying to follow somebody else's plan. It just makes more sense that way. So if a man doesn't want to get married, don't get married. If a man wants to get married, then get married. Just because I don't want to get married doesn't mean that you shouldn't think about getting married. You're not going to live the life. We don't have the same emotions. We don't have the same integrity. We don't have the same plan. How I move and how that person moves is going to be totally different. I do understand, understanding to not make the same mistake somebody else made. If you see them do something stupid, like, oh yeah, I was thinking about doing that, but now I see that it's stupid, that's cool. Like, you can learn from that. But I don't think you should do anything just because someone said you should do it or it seems well. I've noticed that a lot of, not just women, men and women seem to do, like, the men will be like, you need to start you a business at freaking 15 years old and work 10 years and then you'll be happy. Like, it doesn't work for everybody. Or I see women, they'll do something similar. Say you need to find this type of guy and look like this and dress like this. And no, I don't think that works for everybody. Most of the time, I just think that's just talking points. And for the most part, they're just doing that to get views. I don't think people understand that if you're on a site like YouTube, for example, and if you get a certain amount of watch time hours in, you get paid a pretty penny because nothing pays like YouTube. And I don't think the regular average person that's watching the content really understand that that's what they're actually doing, just keeping you around over and over and over again. So that's how I feel about it. That's it.
All right. Thank you. This has been a great show. The guys have given their POVs and their perspectives. Uncle Rick was up here. And I appreciate everyone. Coach Ferg was up here. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thank you. We'll be back next week. Like I said, my birthday next week, y'all. So
when is it?
We'll be back October 29th, which is Tuesday, I think. Okay. So I'll be live. We'll be live again on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So
happy birthday! Happy birthday coming up.
Thank you. So I appreciate you guys. And my final thoughts are always keep it real with yourself so you can keep it real with others. When it comes to men spending a certain time spending a certain amount of time with women, I think there's two dynamics. I think that there's the dynamic when you're fully committed with a woman and the time that you're willing to spend with her because you're committed to her. And then there are men who feel as though they're not obligated to spend a lot of time with their woman because they're not necessarily committed to the mission of being with her. They're committed of being with her at the time or committed to, having a little bit of fun with her. But I think it's different perspectives when you have a different perspective going into the relationship and carrying on the relationship. So you just got to be real with yourself. And I think those comments that I saw from a lot of the people in the comments, and like I said, they were calling the guys gay and things of that nature. That was their perspective of them not wanting to spend a lot of time with women. But at the end of the day, I mean, if they can only spend 5 days, that don't make them gay. That's their tolerance. That's what they can do based upon their perspective and their, like I said, their mission going into the relationship. So I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to show that tonight because people will take a 30-second, a minute clip, and now they have, your whole life figured out. And, you have to give grace to people where they are. And I think that them saying that doesn't make them bad men. I just think it makes them men in a stage where other men have grown and graduated from. I mean, to me, that's it. That's all. If they could only take 4 days and 3 nights, maybe they have some more growing to do. Maybe they have some more life to live. Because if that's your woman, I'm not saying that you want to spend every waking moment with her. I think that's unrealistic. I think everyone needs a good amount of space away from each other. I think you need time to miss your, significant other. You need time away from them to recharge for yourself so you can be better for yourself and for them. So I think when we see videos like that, we like to go to the extremes of, oh, I'll be with her all the time. I'll be with her, from when the sun come up to when the sun go down. And it's like, you're not proving no more love than the person that said that I would only want to be with her for 4 or 5 days. You're not proving no more love for the person that you're in a relationship with just because there's two different dynamics. But I think I do think that there needs to be healthy relational space. I do think that for the sanity of the whole relationship, I think if a person stayed up underneath another person too long, you would find probably a lot of things that, you get sick of quicker than you find the things that you enjoy because you're around them all the time. You definitely learn a lot more. And those things build character within the relationship as well, but you have to use wisdom. And I don't think that a lot of people were using wisdom in that comment section. I thought it was funny, so I wanted to bring it here tonight. And you definitely have to be real with yourself when it comes to your body, and that's a conversation with the ladies. You have to be real with yourself. If you don't like yourself and you want to go underneath that knife, that's your business. But at the same time, always count the costs, because there's a cost. There's a financial cost, there's a physical cost, there's a spiritual cost. There's always a cost. And so you may gain what you want, which is attention, but what's the cost for that attention? Besides what you paying as a surgery, besides, you not being able to sit down on your behind, what's the cost? It's a huge cost in the end. And then as far as the women who feel as though, or the men who feel as though women compete when they have all that, the hair, the nails, the, eyelashes, the wigs and things of that nature. I agree with Fame. I think Fame said it about the attention. I think it's an attention seeking thing. Women's currency is attention. That's just what a lot of women, their currency is attention. They want the attention. But again, you have to count the cost. What's the cost of that attention? And a lot of times, a lot of women be sitting in the corner crying about that cost. I don't think it's necessarily competing with other women, because we as humans are competitive to a certain extent. We're competitive, just period. I used to work somewhere, and if I had a pair of glasses, my coworker, she got a pair of glasses. If I had a certain type of jacket, my coworker, she got. And I didn't take it like, oh, she copying off of me, da da da. Maybe she just liked my style. Maybe she just liked the stuff that I wore and she wanted to wear it too. But I didn't, I wouldn't call her out on that. I wouldn't say, oh, what you trying to compete with me? No, I just took it as maybe she just like what I like. And that's okay. You can like what I like. That's okay. But I think it's an attention seeking thing, especially with social media. If I put on this mask, because that's what it is. When you do the deep makeup, you got the lace front and you got to melt the thing up there. You got to melt
I saw that yesterday. Yeah.
You know, when you went to me, that's a mask. You're putting on a mask. It's like Halloween. It's almost like Halloween, but in a glamorized way, right? So when you do that and you see these Instagram models and you done did your makeup just like they did, and you got your eyeliner popping and the foundation and all of that, concealer and a powder and all of that. When you now look like those Instagram models, boom, you feel like you can get that instant gratification just like them. But again, it comes with a cost. So you got to be real with yourself. Why don't you just be your real self? Because obviously being your real self doesn't garner the attention that you're looking for. But yet again, that attention comes with a cost. And if you live long enough, you might find yourself in a deficit. So just be the real you. Okay. And whoever likes it will flock to it. Whoever don't like it, hey, you don't lose no sleep over it. But you got to be confident in yourself. You got to get to a place where you're just confident in yourself and you're not caring about what people are saying or how they feel. Because at the end of the day, they don't have a heaven or hell to put you in, and God ain't going to ask you about them. He going to ask you about you. Now, why did you feel the need to cover up what I gave you? Why did you feel the need? And if you felt the need to cover up what I gave you and put all these injections in and get cut up and da 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 da, this what you did with it? Is this what you did with it? That's what God gonna ask you. So you got to be real with yourself, because at the end of the day, there's nothing like the real you. That's the most freest you could be. Being the real you is the most freest you can be. So those are my final thoughts.
Sound good.
And I appreciate you guys. Now, my Wi-Fi didn't go out. However, my computer kind of kicked me out. So I got to get to, here we go. So I appreciate you guys. Definitely come back next Wednesday. We will be live again, 9:15. We will start the live. Of course, you guys can join the live. So definitely hit that like button, share this live, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live, because a lot of people may not be subscribed and you might just be watching from the shadows, and that's okay. But just hit the notification button so you know when we go live. So if you ever do want to join the conversation, you most definitely can. I just ask that you be respectful. So my only, you're not out here showing your behind on the StreamYard, because YouTube will kick me all the way off. So just be respectful. But on that note, y'all, again, be real with yourself so you can be real with everyone else. And we are out.